Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, after months of promo, months of anticipation, months of excitement, it warms my heart and it makes me extremely happy to say that my name is Stanton and I want to welcome you to the debut of the Man Cave. Brought to you by the Platform Sports Talk Show. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social medias. Follow us on Instagram, on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube and click on that bell. So anytime we go live, you will be notified. Like I said, I am Stanton, your host for the evening. I want to welcome you all and thank you all for tuning in. Make sure that you share this stream with your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your mamas, your daddies, your exes, the one you with now. Just share it so that everyone can see this show. Y'all know we've been posting about it like crazy. Now's the time. We here, baby. We here. And the beautiful thing is, I am not by myself. If you've seen the promo, you know that we have a amazing panel of fellas that are going to come on every last Wednesday of the month to discuss the sports and what else has been going on in the world of sports. So if y'all are ready to meet the members of this panel, I'm ready to introduce them. First, I got to make this brother first because when I first came on the show, he was already here. Before it was the Platform Sports Talk Show, it was the platform with Smoooth and this brother right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to you all. Wait, before I do it, I'll hit you with a Ryan Seacrest after this commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, we will also streaming on Roku. And as of next week, we will be streaming on Hot 365 Radio. Shout out to Hot 365 for giving us the platform to debut our show. Well, no, that'll be next week where the ladies will have the opportunity. But shout out to Hot 365. Make sure you follow them on all social medias at Hot 365 Radio. Make sure you check out their website and make sure that you support everything that goes on with Hot 365 as they support everything that's happening with the Platform Sports Talk Show. Because when it's about sports, it becomes our business. And as of right now, well, it always has, but especially right now, business has just picked up. So like I was saying, we're back from the commercial break. 4 years ago, when I was invited to this show by Smoooth, shout out to Smoooth, by the way. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to host this show. I promise I will not let you down. But when the opportunity was presented to me, there were two people who wanted to get me on this show. The other was Smoooth, and the other brother who I've been knowing for, wow, it's been 7 years. So it's an honor to have him on the show with me. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your love to the one, the only, Siddall. Siddall, how you feeling, man?
Doing pretty good. Ready to
Yes,
go.
sir.
Ready to go. So yes. I am Kelsey Siddall, aka Siddall the Selector, aka Siddall the Investor. You know, I do real estate deals and I DJ here in St. Louis, Missouri. And I specialize in all things football here on the Man Cave.
Yes, sir. Because if there's one thing for certain, two things for sure, when it comes to football, there's nobody that's more skilled than my brother Siddall. He actually dropped a fun fact on us a couple years ago. College football
Why we
is
gotta talk
played
about the past,
better.
man? We gotta talk about the past, man. That's the
It
past, man.
was a
That's
gem.
years ago.
It
That was
was a
years
gem.
ago.
Hey,
Years
it was
ago.
a gem. What can I? Gems never die, man. Gems live forever. College football
Man,
is
and that's
played.
the next person, man. We got a illustrious guest here and co-host here to introduce.
We do have more people to bring on. This next brother that I am bringing on is one of our resident wrestling heads. They've got information going back to WrestleMania 17. I don't remember WrestleMania 17, but this man does. Ladies and gentlemen, And he also has his own wrestling promotion. I must say that he will tell you about in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your love for T-Bone Funk.
Hey, what's going on?
T-Bone, what's going on, brother?
You know, it's another day, but WrestleMania 17? You don't remember WrestleMania 17? You know, I realized what happened here. Because, you know, when Siddall just mentioned that he's the football expert, and I just realized, of course, here I am, the wrestling expert, former wrestler, wrestling promoter. You know, I realized this is like the Captain Planet and the Planeteers of sports right now. You know, we're going to let our powers combine. So what's going to happen here? Oh, there goes the Undertaker. All right. Anyway.
Undertaker's down. Oh, Lord.
Undertaker's down.
Oh, man. I appreciate you for being on, T-Bone. Go ahead and plug the promotion. Let them know where they can see and find out everything about it.
Well, you know, we need everybody to go to YouTube and check out HBCW Wrestling. You'll see some of the matches that we've had posted up, and we have a lot of stuff that's coming up this year. We have some people who have already signed on for some events that we have coming on later this year, and you know, there might be some surprises out there for some people. But you know, we are happy that you know, we've gotten a lot of views last year, and we look forward to what's coming next year.
All right. T-Bone, thank you for being on the show. We're about to have a good time. We got a few more people I got to introduce, and then we're about to kick this thing right on off. Ladies and gentlemen, the next guy that I'm about to introduce, he is no stranger to the show. He, too, has been on the show. Spoiler alert, everyone that you'll see tonight has been on the Platform Sports Talk show. So this next brother, you don't see him as much, but you do see his lovely wife. He is the other half of the Bova party. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your love to Brendan Bova Conte. What's going on, bro?
What up? What's going on?
Man, nothing much. He is also our resident Baker Mayfield.
Gotta support, baby. Gotta support.
It's his twin. They're twins. He just hasn't told us yet. It makes sense. Baker Mayfield, Brendan Mayfield, the Bees.
Hey, I mean, that's a compliment. That's my dude. I mean, I'm a little upset with his situation, but it happens. But no, I'm Brendan. Like he said, most of you probably know my wife, Jo. She's on pretty much every Wednesday. And I wouldn't call myself an expert like the other two have in their categories, but I'm a baseball guy, love hockey, but I tune in all sports, so I can give some opinions, but baseball and hockey is going to be where it's at for me.
All right. That's good to have because, you know, baseball I'm kind of okay with. Hockey, I'm still working on the point system. Still don't have it. I'm going to get it eventually. It's been about 3 years, and I have faith that in this 4th year of me being on the show that I'm going to know it by the time the playoffs start. But don't hold me to it.
We'll get you. We got you.
Thank you. Speaking of Jo, real quick before we bring on the next panel member, I just want to go ahead and again shout out the ladies for holding it down every first Wednesday with Ladies Night, and next week will be no different. They will be coming with that hot fire, that hot conversation. There it is right there. It's every first Wednesday of the month with Sharita, Bunny, Jo, and Annie, aka Spicy Greer. I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think that was it. Or aka AG. She had a lot of nicknames, and she still holds those nicknames to this day. So we always want to show our love to the ladies as they always show love to us. All right. We're waiting on one more person. I'm going to get into these comments. Oh, Miss Williams. Hello, Miss Williams, a faithful supporter of our show. Always tuning in. And she also says, hi, Brendan. And someone named Cameron called you Brendy?
Yeah, that's. I don't know how that got
Oh no, we
started.
need a backstory behind this. We need a backstory.
We would have to ask Cameron because I don't even know how it got started. That's just kind of what they call me. My buddies call me Brendy. It's stuck. So I have no idea. I wish I had a story for you.
Man, because that's a name. I think that's gonna stick on the show. It might.
I'm
It
here
might
for it.
stick. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Brendy. See how quick that started? Just like that.
It
We are
rolls.
still waiting on another panel member. But I'm gonna go ahead, and while we're waiting, I'm gonna bring everybody in. So if I can get Siddall back in the cave, if I can get T-Bone back in the cave, and the way that we greet one another, another way, just one way, is when you see him, he's like, what's the word? So that's the name of this first topic, where we're gonna talk about, what's going on and what's happening in sports. So what's the word, fellas? Who wants to go first?
Man, man. I can't even put my finger on what has happened over this NFL offseason, man. I know we'll get into it later.
Oh, man.
I know we'll get into it later in depth, but all I got to say, it's the Rams effect. It's the Rams effect around the league with all of these changes and heads rolling and rumor mills going, and man, it's craziness out here, man.
Because F them picks, will use them to win more championships. Those are the greatest words I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's a trend, man. Now everybody's just like saying F them picks.
Yeah,
everybody.
One little Super Bowl. Anyway.
Somebody's salty over there, but hey.
It comes with the territory. Speaking of which, T-Bone, what's the word? What's on your mind?
You know what? This is WrestleMania week, so that's pretty much the only thing that's being thought about right here. I know that we'll talk about that a little bit later, but it's a good time. Go back and watch some good WrestleManias. Find something to get you in the mood, get you in the spirit of things. I should have done that with some Super Bowls. Maybe watch some 49ers Super Bowls a few weeks ago.
Yeah, because
the old days, the glory years
of the past
of the 49ers.
Nothing wrong with that.
So it's another team chasing that good old glory. Anyway, Brendan, what's on your mind, bro?
Opening day.
What's the word, fella?
Opening day. Yeah, I mean, the lockout ended. Was excited for spring training. Spring training gets here, you watch 2 games, and then you're bored. So I'm just ready for opening day. Also, I need to kind of get my mind off the Blues right now, man. Ever since we won the cup, it's been like less interested to me because like they did it. I mean, I never thought it would happen, but trying to get back into it, and with the way they've been playing this year, it's rough. So I'm ready for opening day.
Oh yeah, and we'll definitely make sure that we talk about those Blues. From the Blues. We're also going to mention our Cardinals. A lot to talk about around our beloved baseball team.
Got breaking
I'm surprised.
News here. Got breaking news. This is Brendan is a Cubs fan?
No.
It's one of those rumors again, see?
I'm going to need
all those rumors.
And I can confirm that rumor is false.
Okay. As long as it's confirmed. I was gonna say until we can get this rumor confirmed, I'm gonna need to cut his feed. So, but it's okay.
If I knew we were gonna be with some Rams fans, you can take me out of here.
Only Cubs Andy Nelson.
I heard a rumor that T-Bone was gonna convert to being a Rams fan because he was tired of all the sorrow.
All the
That's
what?
Disgusting.
All the sorrow and pain and sorrow of being a 49ers fan.
Bro, y'all still got like
I can't see
y'all still got like
Super Bowl shirt.
3. Wait, how many y'all won 2 Super Bowls ever?
One.
Yeah.
St. Louis one doesn't count.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
It counts. That's canon.
It counts.
It
counts.
Yeah. It counts
Rams
for St.
won
Louis.
2 Super Bowls ever. You talking to a team that's been to 7 Super Bowls. And y'all been to 3?
And hasn't been. I mean, 7 Super Bowls. You haven't seen one in more than 7 years. I get it.
What? We just went to the Super Bowl against Kansas City. It happened.
Actually, we've been to 5.
It did happen.
4.
5.
5. So y'all got a 2-5 record in the Super Bowls.
When's the last time y'all win the Super Bowl?
That's 2 and 3, T-Bone.
Was that like almost 30 years ago? Almost 30 years ago?
What? Huh?
Last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl? Like almost.
Who was the quarterback? Joe who?
Steve Young.
Steve who?
Steve Young.
Steve who?
Hey.
Steve ain't young anymore? Oh, okay.
We can go all day.
You can.
We can do this.
It's the man cave, man. It's the man cave.
Scratch everything we were going to talk about. This is it.
Y'all been out of 49ers for the past 3 years. Y'all win 1 game, and all of a sudden,
it just happened to be that one game that mattered.
That mattered. Oh, thank you, Siddall. Thank you. Because I'm like, everybody want to say y'all won 1 game. Okay, that one game was the NFC
game that mattered. Yes, we did.
No. Don't call it what it is. We won the NFC championship to advance to the Super Bowl to become Super Bowl champions.
What y'all need to do, what the 49ers need to do, is worry about their quarterback situation because Jimmy G ain't the answer.
Hey,
we'll get into that later.
Just because y'all got a quarterback who felt like he was playing in the Canadian Football League for the past 15 years, and now all of a sudden he comes to the NFL and he's like, hey, I got a team. Oh, I can throw the ball to some people. Cooper Kupp. Hey, go long, catch it, Cooper Kupp. He ever had that?
This is coming from a man. This is coming from a man where Jimmy G mania was going crazy until he tore his ACL.
And how many
Niner gang.
Wait a minute. How many games did he win after he came back? He went to the Super Bowl when he came back.
And
now look at him.
He proceeded to be a loser in the Super Bowl.
What, going to the NFC Championship? You say now look at him. How many other teams were ahead of him? What, two other teams advanced further than the 49ers did last year. It's okay. It's okay. True. Y'all got one more game. Y'all can't nobody tell y'all.
Well, actually, we got 4 games. You have to win 4 in a row.
No, I'm talking about against us. I'm talking about against the 49ers. Okay. I got one more game. One more game.
The haters will hate. It's okay.
We prepared y'all for that Super Bowl like the Yankees prepared the Red Sox to beat the Cardinals in 2004. I had to take it there.
Whoa.
I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that to my people, to my hometown that I would like to come back to. It's a quick plug. Slew, Washu, if you'll have me, I'm here. Carry on.
That was an extreme low blow. That was dear.
Worse than China in the DX days with the low blow. Goodness gracious.
Hey man, y'all made me take it there. Made me take it to the flow.
Oh man. Well let's pick it up off the floor. Well, I guess with the next topic, which is what's on my mind, I guess we can all put them on the floor. And that's my March Madness bracket. It's been on the floor since the first night. I don't know about you guys.
You sure you want to get
I'm pretty sure.
Probably do something else. Don't we have other people we can bring on here instead of talking about those brackets?
We do have other people, and I believe. Don't we? No. You know what? You got a whole lot of attitude.
Riled up,
you got a whole lot of attitude for something. You know what? It's okay.
Took one game.
Okay.
It's done.
It's
game.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I feel like we need a mediator to come in and just calm everybody down.
We need a Molly or somebody.
I think I know.
I'm done.
Okay. Because that got a little crazy. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move on to what's on my mind, what's my word? And like I was saying, it is this NCAA bracket. This March Madness has been just that, March Madness. So, ladies and gentlemen, we started with 64 teams. And now we are down to our final four. Our final four are Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, and Kansas. And those games go down on April 2nd, this Saturday coming up. I am excited. Fellas, your thoughts on March Madness this year?
Absolutely.
I'll start with Brendan. No, I'll start with Siddall.
Oh, that you want to start? Okay, I'm starting. Okay, man, absolute bananas, man. And it's just like right fresh out the gate, number 15, St. Peter's. Man, they have just been the story of the NCAA tournament, man. You know, they come out there, this small school, gritty. They fundamentally sound and not shaken by the moment. And they came in and went very far. Matter of fact, they went farther than any 15 seed team in the NCAA tournament, making it to the Elite Eight. So kudos, hats off to them. They have busted a lot of brackets along the way, and a lot of other teams have played beyond their seat in the tournament. You know, I don't know. You can just throw the numbers away because that really doesn't matter at this point. As far as you know where the seeds are, but it's been very entertaining. March Madness never disappoints, and they really didn't disappoint this year.
Yes, sir. T-Bone, your thoughts?
Disappointed me. First round took me out. I got one team in the Final Four, and guess what? I didn't predict them to go any further than that. So, yeah, it's been wild, and St. Peter's was not very favorable to me this year, taking out everybody.
Yeah, they were the silent assassins in this year's March Madness. Brendan, your thoughts?
Yeah, so you can't have a busted bracket if you didn't make a bracket, right? So that's what I'm going with. My bracket's perfect. So, but no, I mean, just the overall, it's been, I think, St. Peter's. It's always fun seeing that Cinderella team. You always hope they go, win it all. Unfortunately, they can't. What blew my mind was how fast that coach left. They lost, and like the next day, he gone to Seton Hall. Which, I mean, you can't say that you blame him. He certainly coached his team up and got him there. And correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I saw something about St. Peter's. None of their kids were ranked like in the top 250 out of high school, and they go that far. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, it's their story is, to me, it reminds me of Wichita State back in, I believe it was 2014, when they came and they went on that tear for as long as they did. Nobody saw them doing what they did. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Fred VanVleet went to Wichita State. I believe that's who it was. I may have that wrong, but it was something to behold. My bracket, I put my faith in LSU. I was very selective with my bracket process. I tried to put an equal amount of upsets and an equal amount of games that would go the way that you would expect them to go. And just like every March, I was gone in the first round. But the remaining four teams, like I said earlier, are Duke, UNC, Villanova, and Kansas. And the matchups are as follows. You've got Villanova taking on Kansas, and you've got a rematch of Coach K's final home Duke game. You've got Duke versus UNC. I want to start with the Duke UNC game. You guys, based off of what we've seen in these playoffs so far, who do you have coming out on top between Duke and UNC? I'll start with Siddall.
Duke all the way, man. I think they may be a team of destiny. I mean, the story is already there. You have the greatest college basketball rivalry playing in the NCAA tournament for the very first time in tournament history. And so that's a story within itself. But then you couple that with Coach K's final year, couple that with the fact that Coach K lost to the same Tar Heel team in Cameron Indoor Stadium in his final game there. I mean, it's the stars are aligned, and I think Duke is not only going to beat UNC, they're going to go all the way and win it all for Coach K in his last year. That's my prediction.
All right. Brendan, Duke or UNC, and why?
Duke. I mean, I kind of mimic what Siddall said. They're just especially this tournament. They've just been dominant in every aspect of the game from what I've seen. I think everyone's hyped about this matchup. I mean, if you're not, then you don't care about sports. Is kind of how I view it. I mean, it's just going to be a great game. Everybody wanted to see this. But no, I got Duke winning. I probably have Duke winning it. Sadly, I think Kansas wins it all, but Duke's going to win this matchup, I believe.
Don't say Kansas.
I don't want to. I can't stand them, but I just
Kansas.
I just unfortunately that's hey,
Rock Chalk.
I didn't like that, so
I was waiting on Siddall this whole time. As soon as you said Kansas, I was like, it's only a matter of time. T-Bone, what about you, Duke or UNC?
I'm gonna go with Duke. Same stuff. There's not really much more to say, but if I'm saying Duke, that means that North Carolina's probably gonna win it. So but yeah, Duke.
I know Annie is somewhere excited about you saying UNC is probably gonna win it. One more person I want to ask, and I will be welcoming him on to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I am presenting to some and introducing to others, Mr. BT, Mr. Brian Turner. Brian, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas? Can everybody hear me? I was having some technical
Yes, sir.
difficulties, man. I'm a little slow, man. Public school education when it comes to this technology, man. So, all right. So I've been hearing a lot of folks, scream Duke, scream Duke. So I'm gonna go out on a limb, man, and I'm gonna pick UNC. I'm gonna pick UNC. I hear everybody, and I know it's magical, a magical season for Coach K, riding off into the sunset, holding up the trophy, But I think them guys from Durham, man, from North Carolina, just a little bit more grittier right now, man. So that's my take on it. I just feel like we got a St. Louis kid on there playing lights out right now, and I think them kids are just, playing with a chip on their shoulder right now. So I think all of the energy is going to be spent in that game. And like Brendan said, man, I think Kansas is going to kind of prevail overall. But I pick UNC.
Oh, man. All right. Well, before we move any further, BT, you got to tell the people about yourself, man. Let them know who you are. Some people ain't never seen you before. Go and get an introduction, brother.
All right, so basketball hoop junkie, born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri. The head basketball coach of St. Mary's High School. I've been around the block a few times, man. Just like I said, an avid, sports fan, sports junkie, hoop junkie, and I was blessed to be able to come on this show, man. Kick it with some athletic minds, some sports minds, and I hope to learn a lot. And I had to dust up a little bit of my sports, man, on the stats, because I know you guys are going to come with some hard-hitting facts. But just speaking from the gut, speaking with emotion and a little bit of facts behind it. But, yeah, that's my 2 cents. That's my take right there.
All right. Well, fellas, I am, now that we're all here, I'm super appreciative to have you on the show. We are actually not all here. Shout out to our other panel mate, Mr. Richard Cash. I personally was looking forward to you coming on this show today, but we understand that life happens. So we will save that until next month. So in my original bracket, I did predict Duke and UNC to meet in one half of the Final Four. And my pick then is the pick I'm making now. Coach K is riding out the Cinderella story with a win here and a win against whoever is going to be the winner of our next matchup, which is Villanova versus Kansas. Q Siddall's boo.
Boo.
Thank you. All right. So in that matchup, two teams who I did not see going all the way, but I'm glad that it's a little change up. So T-Bone, Kansas or Villanova, who are you picking and why?
I mean, Kansas is the only one that I picked to be in the Final Four, so I'll go with Kansas, just because it makes it all upset.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh man. All right. Well, since we're already there, Siddall, I'm only asking because I want to include everybody, but I believe everybody.
Villanova next.
Brandon, Villanova,
Kansas.
Oh, y'all on Siddall hit list after the show. BT, save yourself. Hold on. Breaking news. It's not related to March Madness or anything, but breaking news. Buccaneers coach Bruce Arians is officially retiring from coaching and moving to the front office. This is breaking news.
That's kind of shocking.
Breaking news. Fellas, thoughts? All right, Brendan, I'll start with you.
No, I mean, it wouldn't be shocking if Brady stayed retired. But with the fact of him coming back, it's kind of shocking there. I don't know. That's odd to me.
Okay. Breaking news part 2. Taking the place of Bruce Arians is going to be Todd Bowles.
Ooh.
So, Siddall, your thoughts on that?
Okay. Well, as far as Bruce Arians goes, there has been rumors, and again, you can't take these rumors with a grain of salt, as we'll talk about later. But the rumor was that Bruce Arians and Tom Brady wasn't getting along. So with Tom Brady coming back, and and Bruce Arians, getting to that point where he was going to retire anyway, I think he just might as well just went and just did that and stepped away. So that's not surprising, and it's also not surprising, but it's interesting that they hire Todd Bowles, because as some of you know, with all of the controversy with black head coaches going around, Todd Bowles gets the shot, and rightfully so. He is a great head coach. He's getting another shot here with Tampa Bay. They got a decent enough defense, and he's defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, for the Buccaneers. So that's a natural transition there to be head coach. So that's not surprising. It's just interesting, just to see the developments here. Let's hurry up and get these black coaches in the office real quick. So when we get in that courtroom, we can say
Yeah, they're definitely making sure that all T's are crossed and all I's are dotted.
You think so?
T-Bone.
Nah,
T-Bone.
See, there's other rumors that are out there. Regardless of them getting along in that, there was another rumor that Tom Brady might be getting traded to Miami.
That was another one.
So, so you say, oh, look, they put the black coach in there and he's set up. And then as soon as he gets in there tomorrow, breaking news, Tom Brady traded to Miami. So, and we're going to be back to where we started. And then watch, the ultimate would be, oh, breaking news, Bruce Arians retires, and he comes right back to coaching, just like Tom Brady retired. But yeah.
And you know what? You joke. If that actually happens, I would not blink. Not in 2022.
I don't think he would unretire, but I do think that Tom Brady might be those rumors of Tom Brady getting traded to Miami or possibly another team. I think that that's more likely, especially now that they have a black coach in there. Because you mean to tell me they're going to set up a black coach with success? I don't think so.
Now, if I don't know, how did I get on the rumor mill? But Flores in one of his claims in his lawsuit is that he was kind of forced to join a meeting with a mystery quarterback in Miami that they were trying to court ahead of time before it was, I don't say legal, but ethical to do. He had to excuse himself from that meeting. The mystery quarterback supposedly was one Tom Brady. That's just another nugget there.
Okay. All right. BT, I'm going to get your opinion, and then we're going to slide right back into this March Madness.
What my opinion on the NFL hiring Todd Bowles? Well, I mean, Coach Bruce, man, when you look at him, the man is 69 years old. And the whole situation was kind of up in there, I think, with Tom Brady and a lot of the back and forth. But I mean, it could be a possibility where he was kind of nudged on out, or someone had to make some demands on. We got to switch this thing up a little bit, and he just said, "Look, it's about to be a circus, and look, I just rather just ride on off and just do something different." But you guys are the football expert. I'm just kind of catching the headlines of this story too. But I just think, man, it's 69 years old to continue to go through a whole nother season where you don't really know what's going to really happen with your star quarterback or even with the franchise. I mean, he may be just looking for an exit out.
All right. And BT, while I got you on the screen, you were the last person I needed to ask. Villanova or KU, and why?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Kansas. I think Villanova, they looking for their third championship with Coach Jay, and I just think right now they dealing with injuries. I mean, having a guard down, man, and one of their key players at this time of the year, I mean, it's crucial. And then when you look at Kansas on the other side, probably one of their best players, they've been kind of just managing his time all year. And that kid is playing lights out. Potential player of the year candidate if he don't get hurt. But Kansas is just playing strong right now. So I'm going to pick Kansas.
Okay. All right, last question, fellas, and then we're moving on. There are 4 teams in the Final Four right now for the men. We've got Villanova, Kansas, Duke, UNC. But as we all know, only one team can hold up the trophy and cut the net. So I'm going to start with Brendan. Out of those 4 teams, who are you picking to win it all?
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Sorry, but I think it's Kansas. They just look like the team to me this year. I couldn't give you stats or reason why. Just a gut feeling. I hate to say it personally. Not a fan. Can't stand them. But I think Kansas wins it all.
All right. T-Bone.
I'll go with the perfect story of Duke.
Okay. And Siddall, who you picking?
Anybody but Kansas, but I think Duke wins it.
All right. So originally I had Duke versus LSU, and I had Coach K leaving a little empty-handed. But now, thanks to Iowa State, LSU doesn't have that chance. So I'm going to go with Duke. But before we move, we also have to show some love to the women. They have been balling out of control with their
BT's got
women's March Madness.
BT's got to pick his pick. What's BT pick?
BT does have to pick his pick. Good Lord have mercy. All right.
What? Well, I thought I picked my pick already with Kansas. I think I'm gonna go.
That was your pick to go all the way?
All the way. Kansas. I think UNC beats Duke. That's gonna be a battle. Them guys are gonna be wore down. Kansas is gonna slide right in there. and this is going to be the second championship for Bill Self, man. After all of the allegations, after all of the trouble that he went through, and he's going through in the courts and all of the stuff in the NCAA, he's going to ride it out, win the championship, and then I think we're going to hear probably within the next 2 years they come back and take it away from him for allegedly trying to pay Zion Williams and that whole crew. So
that'll be great. That'll be awesome.
So,
just yank it away
from him. So yeah.
I just want to address the comment section. Cameron, well, no, before that, Miss Williams said it only took the LA Rams 22 years to figure out how to win the Super Bowl after St. Louis did it. Well, you know, St. Louis, we're some originators here. We tend to do everything first.
Wait, what?
Cameron, Brendan, we're originators. We do a lot of things first. Okay, it's in the history books. Look it up. Brendan, your friend Cameron said, "Go Colts."
Yep.
Miss Williams then asked, I guess, in reference to the coach of, I almost called him Wichita State. Good Lord, St. Peter's, if he had been planning to leave even before they went on their historic run. Miss Williams, I'm not sure. One wouldn't even begin to think that someone would, well, they go in with the mindset believing we can do this, but to actually get in and have it pan out in the tournament, who knows? Then Miss Williams said, welcome. And then Kenny Pullen, he predicted Duke to win it all, which is a great thing. And then Miss Williams was speaking on the women's March Madness, saying that they do indeed get very little media coverage. Well, here at the Platform Sports Talk Show, and especially on the debut episode and every other episode of the Man Cave, we're going to make sure that we give the women their shine. So in the Final Four for the women's March Madness, it's a whole lot of elite teams here. You've got South Carolina, you've got Louisville, you've got UConn, their dynasty, and you've got Stanford. Fellas, 4 teams. We're going to go game by game. First game is South Carolina versus Louisville. Fellas, who are you picking? I'm going to start with BT.
Well, I'm gonna go with the hot team, man. I'm gonna go with South Carolina. Don Stanley had them girls playing lights out, so I'm gonna pick South Carolina.
Okay, all right, Brendan, your pick: South Carolina or Louisville?
With very little knowledge of this, I will probably follow what BT says as well from what I have seen. And with South Carolina, I think I've only caught highlights of some of these teams, unfortunately, but I will go with South Carolina.
Okay. T-Bone, who you picking?
I'm going with Louisville. That's my pick.
All right. Shout out to Bunny. Make sure y'all catch her next week on Ladies Night. She said she's going with South Carolina, baby. And she wanted to shout out Coach Dawn Starley. All right. Siddall, who you got? South Carolina or Louisville?
I got to go South Carolina on this one. And it's just based on recent history. They've always had good teams there, and I too am a fan of Dawn Staley as coach there, and yeah.
Because I definitely said Staley, didn't I? Anyway, my bad. Dawn Staley, let me put some respect on your name. And with that being said, I'm also going to go with South Carolina. It's a lot of great, impressive things going on. I got to catch one of the games, and from buzzer to buzzer, I was definitely on the edge of my seat. I was excited to watch, and it definitely kept my attention. All right, so the next matchup, we've got the infamous UConn going up against Stanford. T-Bone, between the two, who you picking?
I'm going to go with UConn because I did pick them to get to the Final Four too.
Okay, all right. Brendan, who you picking? UConn or Stanford?
Also UConn. I actually have them winning it all, so we're going to go with UConn playing South Carolina in the championship game.
Okay. BT, who you picking, bro?
I'm gonna go with history. I'm gonna go with Coach Oriem. I mean, 22 times going to the Final Four. I think he's gonna have his girls prepared or his women prepared to take care of business. So I'm gonna pick UConn.
Okay. I want to go with the grain, but as you guys know, I tend to want to pick against the grain. So just to see a change of scenery, I am picking Stanford. That is my pick. And fellas, as you know, we've got 4 teams.
What does
South
Siddall
Carolina.
What does Siddall think about the picks? I don't know.
What does Siddall think about the
I don't know
picks?
what does Siddall think. What does he?
God, is that you?
Yeah. So I'm glad you thought of me, Stanton. I pick UConn to win against Stanford and win it all. There you go. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Siddall hit me with the 2 birds, 1 stone.
I am your
feel like
conscience, Stanton.
I feel like my conscience just rocked me at will. But anyway,
I just got virtually slapped like Chris Rock at the Oscars.
Oh no, that was live and in living color. T-Bone between the 4, South Carolina, Louisville, UConn, Stanford to win it all. Who you picking?
Well, according to my official platform, Sports Talk Show brackets, I picked Louisville to go all the way. And I realized when I just looked at those brackets, I picked Stanford and South Carolina to lose the round right before this. So I almost had everything. I almost had the Final 4 correct. But yeah, I'm picking Louisville to go all the way.
Okay.
Even though I hate it. I hate Louisville, by the way. Hate it.
And it's
weird because I picked Louisville in this bracket and I picked Kentucky in the bracket. And if you ask me which 2 colleges I can't stand, it's those 2.
Oh man. BT, who you picking, bro?
I'm gonna go with UConn. If they're able to take down Stanford, the defending champions, man, I think that's a big bonus right there. So I'm gonna pick UConn in this one.
All right. And Brendan, who are you going with?
I'm gonna follow suit, and it's UConn. That's my pick.
All right. Since I predicted one upset, I'm gonna go ahead and try to predict another. I have Stanford winning it all. Was that my original bracket? No, it wasn't. I had Oregon going as far as they could. Why? Because though I'm wearing my Rams apparel, I am also a fan of University of Oregon. Shout out to the Ducks. Win the day. Shout out to Sabrina Ionescu. Yeah, her last name is still hard for me to say. All right, so since we're talking about March Madness, can we slide into some Memphis mayhem? Fellas, have you all heard about what's going on with the University of Memphis? Anybody? Anyone?
I don't.
I just heard that there was some controversy with Penny Hardaway and his team. I think on recruiting. Is that if I'm not mistaken?
Yes, sir. So Memphis is facing at least 4 level 1 and 2 level 2 violations. And those are considered the most serious of their 4 level violation structure. So here's what happened. It is alleging that the head coach of Memphis, Coach Penny Hardaway, NBA legend, he failed to demonstrate that he promoted an atmosphere of compliance with the men's basketball program. He is charged with involvement in 1 level 1 violation and in both level 2 violations. But the specifications, of course, have been redacted. So we don't know what exactly is going on.
Well, I was gonna say, so a lot of this is stemming back from before he was even at Memphis. So you got to think about they hired him to come in this climate of the one and dones, the high profile kids. You look at someone like Kentucky, Duke. They get the McDonald All-Americans every year. Memphis has a lot of during this time they knew they had an NBA player, which was in his grassroots program, which is James Wiseman. He attended another school, I think, in like Nashville. Okay, he's playing on this elite team, and at the time, I believe Penny is the head basketball coach at Memphis East. So, kid number 1 player in the nation, top player. He's in my program. How about we try to find a way to get him up here to play ball in Memphis? You know, so information that had came out about him, I guess, arranged, or not just him, and all of this is, you know, allegations or allegedly arranging for payments to be made to, I guess, his family for moving expenses to get him to Memphis. So all of this has been going on. And if you guys remember at the beginning of last year, the NCAA did an investigation on him, and they ruled that he was ineligible at the beginning of the year, at which Penny Hardaway still elected to play him in like 4 or 5 games after finding out the ruling, and then was waiting on the appeal, knowing that this kid was going to be one and done anyway. So, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things when, you know, it's what you call it. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. So he's trying to do his best as making a splash and get that program back on the map. They paying top dollar to keep him there. And then all of the facilities, they're getting the best of everything, and they don't want him to leave. So he's going to have to do what he has to do to bring players in. It's just one of those situations where he got a little bit too antsy and too greedy, and was just blatantly doing stuff out in everybody's faces, and they popped him for it. So it's going to be interesting to see if he stick around after they laid them sanctions down on Memphis. So that's going to be interesting.
So some of the details. T-Bone?
I was going to ask, how bad do you think the punishment's going to be?
Well, based off of some of what they are saying took place, you know, from the $11,500 that Coach Hardaway gave to James Wiseman's mother, from the playing him in it was 3 games that he was allowed to play in before the investigation started. And then also to bring into play a hard drive belonging to a former assistant coach that was not preserved and then just automatically and subsequently was found formatted. In other words, for those who aren't technically savvy, formatted in tech words is just a fancy way to say that everything was deleted. It's clear that they tried to cover their tracks, but with the money and the infraction, the penalty could be severe. Siddall, what do you think?
I'm not really sure. I'm just learning about this, just like a lot of folks. So it could be serious. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a year or so.
Okay. All right.
Brendan,
what about you?
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Brendan. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, you're the better person to ask. I'm like Siddall said, there's not much else I know other than what we just talked about. I don't know how serious punishments get when it comes to NCAA.
What's the
but I
scale?
mean,
SMU?
it just sounds. I mean, it sounds like there's some hard allegations there, and probably some hard penalties coming.
Yeah. Well, if you guys, and I'm kind of in this world, but a couple years ago, a big story broke, and it was kind of like, you know, and it's been at the height of what a lot of coaches and a lot of the mix everything that's going on right now when it comes to the things that the NBA is trying to do, all of these different things that are coming out. Couple coaches got in trouble, and it, like federal charges a couple years ago. And again, Kansas was at the forefront of this. You had teams like Duke. You had all of these, you know, big high-profile programs getting involved in these different schemes. And at the end of the day, you know, the big names, the big schools, you know, magically nothing happens to them. But then these smaller schools that are probably trying to do the exact same thing, you know, they'll come down hard on them. And it's not just Wiseman. Again, Wiseman was the number 1 player in the country. They knew he was one and done. But then Memphis also has a player, Imani Bates, who at the time, even last year, was considered like the next KD, the next, you know, who he committed to going to Michigan State at first. And then all of a sudden, magically decommits, ends up at Memphis. And then if you follow him in the summertime, played on like 2 or 3 different AAU teams in the EYBL, which was, just to make sure that he kept playing. His team ended up winning the Peach Jam, and then maybe 2 or 3 of those players ended up going to Memphis. So Penny is doing the work as far as the recruiting. It's just one of those things where you do the work, you're getting the kids in. You guys have to win, and then if you don't win, then it's definitely going to be some ramifications behind that. But as far as the penalties, I think you got to hit them hard with probably putting them on probation for probably like 5 years, and really stick it to them for to at least let a class come up out of there. So I'm thinking maybe 4 to 5 years on the sanctions that's going to get put down on.
And if it seems like we hear about these cheating scandals almost every year with NCAA sports, whether it be football or basketball. And just imagine these are the people that actually get caught. If they're getting caught at this rate, there is a lot of stuff going on that a lot of other people seem to get away with than others. And I don't know. Maybe it's because people get sloppy in how they handle it. Maybe it's more money being paid off to the right people. I don't know, but you just see it. You just see it every year, whether it's football, or basketball, or both. There's always some kind of recruiting scandal. Somebody's getting paid under the table, and it's been happening for decades. I remember a story about it's like a worst kept secret about Eric Dickerson getting paid at SMU with cars and stuff. So.
Didn't that get them the death penalty?
Yeah, they got him the death penalty. Yep. And that's the only team that went through the death penalty in college football.
And I think too, it's kind of like one of those things to where, all right, the elephant in the room is that everybody knows that this stuff is going on. Don't throw it up in people's faces that you're doing this. I think that's like that's where the underhanded, the folks trying to figure things out, because if you follow Memphis, you follow the things that Penny Hardaway is doing. He went in, first of all, his assistant coach staff is full of NBA players. You walk in any gym in the country, you're trying to recruit these one and dones. The first thing you can say is, all right, I got a staff of NBA guys on my staff that's going to teach you how to get to the NBA. And then all of that, these guys flying private jets all over the place, throwing it up in people's faces. Now, if you're doing that, it's one thing about doing it and being discreet about it. And I think the Bill Selfs, the Coach K's, the Roy Williams, all of these big name coaches know that this stuff goes on, but they don't blow it out of proportion. And we're living in a social media driven world with even some of these players that they get that is all about the clout, I think Penny kind of got caught up in the whole clout game, and that's why he's being exposed right now.
All right. T-Bone, did you have anything you wanted to say about this?
They could avoid all this by canceling student debt and then having public colleges for free, and then all of a sudden, none of this matters. They can pay the players whatever they want to pay them. That's just my sense.
Amen.
Well, amen to that. Speaking of getting paid, we're going to slide on to the NBA, the dream of every college basketball athlete. I just want to start with this. As of last night, the Los Angeles Lakers are officially out of playoff contention. Fellas, and I will start with BT. I just want to know what happened between expectation and reality for the Los Angeles Lakers this year.
You're on mute.
Okay. All right, sorry about that.
Okay,
all right.
There we go.
So it's a lot that's going on, and I try my best to follow NBA, but it's just one of those things. Like, it's so driven with just sometimes some BS, and a lot of it is covering the Lakers, even when they're not a good team. But when you look at someone like an Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, like they pretty much sold their soul in order to get Anthony Davis. Okay. And at the time, Anthony Davis was probably one of the top 10 players in the league. But the problem, and I think what happened with Anthony Davis is that all of the guys that came out in his class eventually kept getting better. And he kind of hit a ceiling. And Anthony Davis was known for his defense. So if you had a defensive mind in Anthony Davis playing with this Lakers team, they would probably have some success. And I mean, they've had success in the past, but I just think it's one of those things where, he never continued to get better, just like the other guys in his class got better. And he's not even one of the top people in his position. So that's one thing. LeBron can only do so much. And, we're watching years being wasted with this guy playing right now with this crappy team. So, they can't stay healthy, but you got to look at the bodies that they have out there with them. It's just like one of them things where if you got at least a healthy Anthony Davis, you can probably get by with, the rest of those guys on the team, because he's the future. But you sold your soul, you gave up the draft picks, you gave up the future to get him. And now this is the problem that they're having, not even being able to make it to the playoffs when you got a LA team, Clippers, that are about to, strike fire and be one of the hottest teams going in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned AD being healthy. When AD was healthy, that was the 2020 championship. So with that being said, with LeBron, you said LeBron is wasting years on this LA team. Do you see LeBron finding a way out of LA this offseason?
That right there, it's LA, it's Hollywood. His story is going to constantly be out there. I think we're going to have to just watch this thing kind of play out and see, what's out there. If he tries to force his way out, where is he going to go at this stage in the game? I think he should ride it out, break these records, try to accomplish some huge things while he's still in LA. And again, he's already said he's waiting on his son to be able to make it to the NBA. And I think that's when he's going to kind of force his hand into kind of picking where he wants to go after that, depending on what happens with his son. So,
okay. Siddall, your take on these unfortunate Lakers this season?
To be honest with you, I thought one thing and things just happened to just go make a sharp left turn. Because I haven't really been following basketball or NBA a lot, but what I could gather before the season was the Lakers was smooth sailing all the way to the NBA Finals. You had LeBron James, you had Anthony Davis, and then you pick up Russell Westbrook, and the next thing I know, a couple months later, I see AD hurt. They're calling Russell Westbrook, and now they got LeBron James frustrated, and they still can't do anything with the coach. So I don't know. And then I look at the bracket, the playoff bracket. They add the play-in element of it, and even with the play-in element of the playoffs, the Lakers still doesn't make it.
Well, just to be fair, they got knocked out last night. So they were holding on to the final spot up until San Antonio snatched it from them.
But that's the point, though. Why do you even get to that point? I was expecting to see LA in the first seed, not just getting knocked out of the playoffs the night before. That's like, what happened? Where did we go wrong here? It's crazy.
Where did we go wrong? Anyway,
right.
T-Bone, your thoughts on these losing Lakers? I'm coming up with a different thing every time I bring up the Lakers.
Now, I recall before the season started, when all these names were announced as coming to the team, I said that this was going to happen. I said that these are basically like the same Lakers, same story of the Lakers from 19 years ago. You put all these names up here of all these people coming to the team. Let me ask you a question. How many finals how many championships does Carmelo Anthony have?
Oh,
A national championship.
We talking about in the NBA. How many does Russell Westbrook have?
he could have had one, but
Coulda, shoulda,
that was
woulda, but he don't.
they,
Who else?
they had a 3-1 lead. They had a 3-1 lead from that
Who
year.
else-
That's
who
They
all
else-
they had.
almost had it. They almost.
Who else did they bring over this year? Who else did they bring over this year? I'm
Well, they brought Dwight Howard back, and he has one from 2020.
he listen. Dwight Howard, when he won, yeah, okay, you had him on there. He's a nice reserve player. He's a nice little reserve player that they have. You know, former Orlando Magic player. Anyway, I think that the problem is it's kind of chasing clout. Like you adding all these names of people over here that sound good. They sound nice, but they haven't won championships. These big names that everybody's excited about. Oh, Carmelo Anthony's here, Russell Westbrook's here. Those guys have never won championships before. So what would make you think that it would happen now? And you've seen how Russell Westbrook, when he has teammates, things just don't really work out. It just never seems to work out. And maybe the finger should be pointed at all of them and LeBron, because LeBron's story always seems to be when things are not going well, it's everybody else's fault. But maybe it was the construction of the team, and who probably had the most influence of the construction of the team other than the official GM?
Look, there was a conversation. Carmelo did an interview. He spoke about when LeBron tried to bring him in. He's like, "You trying to come?" Carmelo told LeBron, "You the GM. Come on, let's make it happen." So yeah, other notable players: T-Bone, DeAndre Jordan, and Trevor Ariza. He's got rings in his former LA tenure.
So he won it in LA
with Kobe.
So he won it as a Laker. Okay. We'll see the star of the team. We'll see the leader, the number one.
He brought something important to the team. T-Bone.
Oh, a roll. He brought him a roll. Did he bring it in a basket?
He brought in a basket of rolls.
What about DeAndre Jordan? Does he have a ring?
He dunked on somebody though.
Hey,
he murdered a Clipper.
Hey, that's more than
multiple times.
He ain't never been in the dunk contest, so
Don't talk about that.
Moving on.
What dunk contest? You talking about years ago? Not this year.
That doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what that was this year. Oh,
See?
man.
Miss Williams,
no. It's a brick contest.
Yes, Ms. Williams said under Phil Jackson, the Lakers tried packing the team with big stars, and it didn't work then either. I believe that was the year they brought in Gary Payton and
Karl Malone.
Who else? Karl Malone. that was like history is repeating itself. Brendan, your thoughts on these lackluster Lakers? There we go.
I said losers.
I mean, neither would be wrong, but no, I mean, it's the team, the names are there. I'm sure health is a big part of the issue. Like we referenced, Anthony Davis can't seem to stay healthy. But I mean, what it sticks out to me is like I said, the names are there, but the names don't mean anything. You can put names on paper. It doesn't make a good team. And it doesn't help that some of these guys are just out of their prime. I mean, face it, LeBron's getting up there. LeBron is LeBron, but it's not prime LeBron. And Dwight Howard feels ancient to me. I mean, I feel like he's been in the league for forever. And then same with Melo. It's just the names are, like I said, the names are there. It just doesn't mean the team's going to be good.
Okay.
And, it's kind of like when you bring back old players or old wrestlers, the names are there. Looks good on paper.
Siddall,
you get them in the ring. But that's a different story.
Everybody has to make a check, Siddall. Jesus. Shout out to Bunny. She said that the Lakers do not play defense. And she also said the main problem is AD being hurt and not playing most of their Lakers games. She corrected herself later. She said, and not playing most of the Laker games.
But what if they made that up with younger players? Like if they weren't trying to go for these names that, you know, have false images at this point, if they would have had some younger players that could have been developing, even if this season was a wash, look what they would have next year.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
you're right.
They
No,
do
that
have.
makes sense.
They've got some young talent. I know Austin Reeves has been playing pretty well. He was the rookie that they drafted. Malik Monk considered young still? No.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would think, because I mean, the kid's probably if he played 4 years in college, he'll probably be in his first or second year in the NBA. So, and I think what the problem with a lot of these guys, or even let's taking it back to like a Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook had an opportunity to go to, I believe it was maybe San Antonio a couple years ago. All right, and play in that system up under Popovich and actually learn how to play the game the right way. He's never learned how to play the game the right way since he's been in the NBA. You know, we get caught up on these stats and these triple doubles, and it was just a facade for all them years of you watching the game. And if they did an average on, okay, the triple double, most of his triple doubles were early in the game, and none of the stats meant anything when it came to winning games. Now he get to a situation where you in LA, all of the lights are on you, every game is on TNT, every big game is on, and now they picking you apart because you don't know how to play the position. And again, he's so caught up in, you know, trying to sell shoes, trying to live up to, I have a big contract, so I should be doing these things. And none of these guys play defense. You know, Anthony Davis, when you think of an Anthony Davis, when he was a winner, when he won championships, he was maybe the third or fourth best player on the team, but he was probably the best defensive player. Now he's with the Lakers and he's turned into a straight finesse player, all the way finesse. So, you know, you get what you pay for. So this is what they're getting right now, and it's going to probably hurt them for like the next couple of years too. So.
All right, fellas, the last question, then we're going to move on to the standings. It's been talked about before. People used it in the LeBron-Kyrie situation, the LeBron D-Wade during their time. Would you all believe that there is such a thing as the LeBron effect? I'll start with you, BT.
The LeBron effect, as in if you surround him with good quality players, that he gets the job done?
No, so especially with Westbrook this year, they're saying when you put someone with a heavy amount of talent with LeBron tends to overshadow that talent, and then the talent doesn't perform as they normally would. So looking at this season and probably looking at how other players have played with LeBron and after they team with LeBron, would you say that the LeBron effect is a real thing?
Nah, I just think that this is just a situation where the pieces don't fit. You know, a couple years ago, everything was kind of set up and made for LeBron to be the focal point, and now it's just kind of like they don't fit. Now, what Russell can probably go to another team and have his triple doubles and all of that, but they're going to be in the bottom of the standings and going to be a terrible team. But the players just have to come. They have to just bring something to the table to help LeBron. He's going to get you what he's going to get you, but you know, some guys just don't know how to play with it with a talent like that.
All right. T-Bone, do you believe in the LeBron effect?
Probably not in the exact same way, but you know, if you go to that team, if the team isn't doing well, you're going to get the blame, and nobody's going to blame him like he's above everything. So there's that effect. But I mean, you know, if all the other people who have played with him, I mean, it's not like people can't win with him, but you know, you're talking about Russell Westbrook, who every team he's been on, he's been the number one guy, even if he wasn't the number one guy in his mind, you know, so he was going to do his thing. So I think that there may be, you know, kind of like BT just said, like, if he's now in a system where he can't, he knows he has to play a different role, you know, mentally, I think that can mess things up. So maybe there is something like that to a degree, because yeah, he'll probably go to another team and his stats will probably be great, but the team's not going to do anything more than maybe the first round of the playoffs. as it's normally been.
Okay. Siddall, what about you?
As far as the LeBron effect, I think it's just a matter of personalities as players. If you look at the success of LeBron James led teams, you look at this and you look at his supporting cast, a lot of those players don't really mind, or they really play well when they are in a supporting role, you know. Or they can adjust to that supporting role. If you try to put them, you try to pair them, LeBron, with someone who is also like an alpha type, like Russell Westbrook, it's not going to work. It tends to butt heads. They can't really get on the same page. I'm not really sure about off the court how how those dynamics work. So I think there is a LeBron effect to a certain point.
Okay. Brandon, do you believe in the LeBron effect?
I mean, maybe not in the exact sense that you were explaining. I mean, I think I wouldn't even call it a LeBron effect. It's just I feel like you can't have kind of like Siddall said, like the too many alpha guys, like too many I'm the guy, I'm the star on the team, and that goes for a lot of sports, not just basketball. But I think that there's just too much waiting around for someone else to do it, and no one's doing it is the issue, and then it kind of falls on, like people say, like it's LeBron's team, but it's LeBron, it's not on him, it's on everyone else, and the players they got, they're just not built for that.
All right. All right. Well,
Question though. Who
yes.
in the league, because I haven't paid as close of attention to this, but on teams, what young player has LeBron played with that has developed under LeBron and become a better player under LeBron? Because it seems to me like he specializes in, I got a bunch of people around me who already know what they're doing and are already ready made, and that's what I need to win. And I'm going to surround myself with those people. I'm going to win. But what young teammates has he had that he's made better? I don't know if Kyrie's the answer, because Kyrie was already on the team leading before he got there, and he played with him in that role that I just said, where he already knew what he was doing, and then LeBron was able to win with him too.
Kind of goes back to that LeBron James Michael Jordan debate, and all the different nuances there, and about the teammates that surrounding Jordan. When Michael Jordan played, he made people like Steve Kerr better. He made Horace Grant better. Scottie Pippen was a great player himself there, but it also rose his game up. So everybody that he's surrounding himself or surrounded Michael Jordan made better, for better or worse. If you've seen the Last Dance, he has his ways of making you better, but that's what he did. And I can't name. I'm like T-Bone. I can't name anybody that LeBron has made better in that way.
I couldn't think of anybody other.
And isn't that kind of what makes players star players? Like, not only that you can be great, but you can elevate everybody around you to make them come off as great. And again, I'm not saying that LeBron can't do that. You guys would have a ton more knowledge than I would, but my very little knowledge, I couldn't tell anyone.
So it's kind of like, even when to put it in just layman's terms, it's kind of like you only gonna have a couple of superstars in the NBA, and so the superstars we all know pretty much, they the shoe guys. Anybody with a shoe, them the superstars. Okay, then you got the next tier of player that maybe could be a star, probably had some success, maybe in college on other teams. And then you just got the pro, the workers man pro. LeBron thrives in having a lot of those just working guys, like just basically just doing your job. And a lot of times it doesn't always have to be another shoe guy that he has to be paired with in order for him to have some success. But, we all know if you're going to win a championship, it has to be three. It has to be a big three that you put together with a bunch of role guys in order to have some success. And now, even though, again, the Westbrooks and all of these guys in the past, they've been superstars, but they're past their prime, And I just think, LeBron has to be paired with some other guys, but he shines a light on those pros, and he makes those pros better because all you have to do is just come in and do your job. But I just think he gets a bad rap with, that next tier guy, where everybody may think he's a superstar, but he's not really a superstar. He just plays well. So, no LeBron slander. Come on now.
Well, all I'm saying though is I think when he went to the Heat, like he had a team around him where it wasn't just him. And yeah, he may have been the best player on the team, but everybody else was ready-made. And this is what has always irritated me since he left Miami. When he left Miami, he went to Cleveland. They won the championship in Cleveland. But then the next year, it's, he's got a bunch of bums around him. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Like everybody in the league is at a certain level to be in the league to begin with. But it's like, unless he has the superstars of superstars around him, everybody else on the team is a bum. So he won with those bums one year, but then the next year it's they're bums. It's nothing he did wrong. They're a bunch of bums. I just don't like the blame that everybody else gets just because he's not playing with the all-star team every season.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that, I mean, when you look at that Miami team, the Miami team just had a whole bunch of just guys that just came in and did their job. Like but again, he had two other people that were considered superstars that could play at a high level, night in and night out, that can kind of carry the load, and then everybody else just did their job. But now it's just that time where these guys are way past their prime, but I feel like he makes guys better. He makes you step up in certain situations to where you have to show and prove that you're doing a job. And then once you can show that you can play with him, you're going to get a big contract somewhere else. Now, the GMs get tricked by thinking that, oh man, you had some success with LeBron. Come on over here to New York or Cleveland. We're going to give you top dollar over here. Well, y'all just got tricked because now I'm not going to say a bum, but you're giving an average player, a serviceable player, superstar money. You're gonna set that person up to fail.
All right. Well, I must say we have been having a great show so far, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in to the debut episode of The Man Cave, brought to you by the Platform Sports Talk Show. Make sure that you share this stream with your friends. Share it on all your social medias. Make sure everybody tunes in because clearly we're talking about some great stuff. Now we are about to get into a segment that has been missing from the show for a long while. It's not going to be as exuberant as it usually is, but we are going to get into the NBA standings. Thank you, Ms. Williams. I feel this too has also been a great discussion. We're going to start with the West. Well, actually, we're going to start with our play-in tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, on your screen, you see the setup for the playoffs this year. The play-in teams for the Eastern Conference are going to be the number 10 Atlanta Hawks going up against the number 9 Charlotte Hornets. And then you've got the number 8 Brooklyn Nets going up against the number 7 Cleveland Cavaliers. And then at number 5, you've got my team, Chicago Bulls. Well, no, I skipped number 6. Excuse me. At number 6, you've got the team up north. You've got the Toronto Raptors. At number 5, you've got the Chicago Bulls. At number 4, you've got the Philadelphia 76ers. At number 2, you've got the Milwaukee Bucks. And at number 1, we've got the Miami Heat. That is how it's looking on the East. Now we're going to shift over to the West. You've got the number 10 San Antonio Spurs playing the number 9 New Orleans Pelicans. Then you got the number 8 Los Angeles Clippers playing up against the number 7 Minnesota Timberwolves. And whoever wins that game, no, that is not true. And then you've got the number 6, my apologies, Denver Nuggets. You got number 5, Utah Jazz. You've got the Dallas Mavericks at number 4. You've got Golden State at number 3 without Steph Curry for the rest of the season. You've got the number 2 Memphis Grizzlies, who have been on a hot streak the last 10 games and are currently on a 5-game win streak. And then you've got the equally red hot Phoenix Suns. And those are the standings. Fellas, looking at this bracket right here, do you have a team that you believe can go all the way to the finals from each side? Siddall, I'll start with you.
Ooh, put me on the hot seat just right out the gate here.
Right out the gate.
Man, I'm gonna say, I'll say the Philadelphia, man. Philadelphia has a good chance here. And I like,
So you're saying that
talking about going all the way.
Yeah, that the process could be beneficial in getting them. This is just to the finals for each side.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I say Philly on the Eastern Conference, and then in the Western Conference, I say I say Phoenix.
Okay, all right. I'm a little salty because in order for Philly to get all the way, step one is they have to beat the Bulls. I ain't mad at you though. I ain't mad. It's all a part of the business. It's all a part of the business. T-Bone, who is your team coming out of the East and your team coming out of the West?
Okay. I'm gonna go with Miami in the East. That's a blind pick, by the way. And the question is, how long is Steph Curry going to be out? Is he come?
They're saying he is out indefinitely.
I think he might be back in time for the playoffs. So I'm going to go with Golden State against Miami in the finals.
Okay. All right. Brendan, who are you picking? Your team in the East and your team in the West?
So, I mean, this is strictly coming from the standings because I'm that guy that doesn't watch NBA until the playoffs start. So I don't have too much knowledge. But I will probably take Phoenix out of the West. I mean, I've heard a lot about them this year, and then just looking at the standings, they're far ahead of just in wins already. So seems like they're pretty dominant this year. And then I am a Tatum fan. And with that, I see all the social media clips of the Celtics. I follow a lot of people that follow the Celtics up north, or up east, I should say. So I'll go with the Celtics and the Suns.
Okay. And BT, who are you picking?
Okay, so since we don't really know how long Golden State is out, man, Memphis is looking good over there in that West, but I'm gonna have to go with and this one kind of tough because I do feel like that Memphis is real hot right now, but they probably like a year away. And so I'm gonna say Golden State, depending on if Curry can get back healthy. And then why are we not picking Brooklyn? I mean, what's going on with Brooklyn? You got KD, you got Kyrie. Man, I'm going with Brooklyn in the East.
You don't know if Kyrie can play half the games in certain places.
Oh,
well,
no.
They just lifted
That's been lifted. He can play in home and away games. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, baseball, by the way.
Right, I was gonna say that's because of baseball. Come on now, you can't have all of this mix up going on right now. We finna be in the thick of things here soon. So yeah, Brooklyn and Golden State.
Okay, and for myself, out of the West, I'm going with the Grizzlies, and out of the East, I'm going with my Chicago Bulls. Come on, all right. So that is the NBA standings. That is what the playoff tournament is looking like right now. We're going to slide into something that is near and dear to St. Louisans everywhere. It's time to talk baseball. And it was announced on, what was that, Sunday night? I believe that was Sunday night. It was announced that the St. Louis Cardinals and Albert Pujols reached a deal on a 1 year, $2.5 million contract. And then it was later revealed that this will be Albert's last dance. He will be hanging it up after this season. Fellas, I'll start with you, Brendan, just off of the initial reaction to St. Louis getting the machine back.
I mean, you're not. I mean, it's just. I think it had to happen. I mean, whether it's a smart baseball move or it's not. I mean, I personally think it is. He rakes against left-handed pitching. He proved with the Dodgers last year he can still hit left-handed pitching in a part-time role. But just for the nostalgia factor, I mean, it's there. Everybody wants to go see Pujols. So whether you were salty when he left, I mean, personally, I think most people should be over that by now. But just from a nostalgia aspect, it's something we can appreciate. I think we're going to watch every game and appreciate it, seeing him in a Cardinals uniform again. And I mean, I still wonder, like, I think it's a smart baseball move. I wonder if the front office actually thinks that, or if it was, hey, we need to sell some tickets, because you could have fooled. I mean, you could put it either way, and I would buy it. But I just think Pujols being back is a huge benefit for the city, and I think it's going to shine more of a national light on St. Louis. I know people say that they already get the national light, but I think it's going to be something that the national media pays more attention to, is when Albert comes up to bat, in late innings in September. Is there a magic run that he helps the Cardinals, take off and make the playoffs or win it all? But I just think it's a great move.
All right. Siddall, I'll go ahead and slide to you. What was your reaction when you heard that the St. Louis Cardinals were bringing back Albert Pujols?
I loved it. Albert Pujols is my second favorite Cardinal of all time, behind Ozzie Smith. And just knowing the great history that the St. Louis Cardinals has, it is the Cardinal thing to do. Bring back and appreciate one of the past difference makers of the team. Albert Pujols has been one of the most important and one of the greatest Cardinals of all time. I think he's gonna have a statue equal the size of Stan Musial outside of Busch Stadium when it's all said and done. And of course, the number 5 retired. So it's only right for you to bring back Albert Pujols and in his last season, and then possibly a good possibility that it's Yadier Molina's and Wainwright's last season. So to bring back those 3 for one last run, it's just the Cardinal way. We talk about the Cardinal way. That's what the Cardinals do. It's the Cardinal way. And I mean, look at this. Albert just looks right in that red and white birds on bat Cardinal cursive with that number 5, man. I mean, he's a Cardinal. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it at all. BT, your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, from a business side, I mean, it energizes the city, knowing that, again, this is like their version of the Last Dance. Last time this guy was a Cardinal, I mean, he had the city buzzing. So it's rightfully so that he comes back. I'm excited. I'm ready to go check out some games, to be able to just to say that I was, their Pujols' last year. So I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm. T-Bone, how did you feel when Albert Pujols came back to St. Louis?
Hey, man, I don't get to go to St. Louis too often, but I'm a re-energized Cardinal fan myself. I find it interesting that Siddall was applauding them bringing an aging athlete back for another year. But hey, clip that out, Mr. Producer. Clip that out for later. I think when they announced that the DH was going to be universal, I think I said that the Cardinals might try to get Albert Pujols back for another season. And wow, would you look at that? Here he is. I'm for it, and hopefully, if the nice University of St. Louis, or not University of St. Louis University or Washington University would have me, hopefully I'll be able to catch a few Cardinals games later on this year myself.
All right. Hey, Slew. Hey, Washu. You heard the man. Bring him in. I would say that the move, not only is it a great business move in putting butts in seats for the stadium, I believe, and I know Smoooth will attest to this, wherever he is watching, it will boost morale with the team. It might already have boosted team morale. Did you all see the clinic they put on today in spring training? Though it be spring training, did you see it or did you hear about it? Because 29 runs, 29 runs to the Nationals 8. Today.
Goodness.
In spring training. 29
I was actually looking to watch the game.
8.
It wasn't on TV.
They put up football. That is a football score in baseball. So with Albert being brought in and the morale being high and the motivation and reason for wanting to go all the way being high, with this potentially, well, with it for sure being the last year for Pujols and potentially being the last year for Wainwright and Molina, is it World Series or bust at this point?
I wouldn't say all of that, as T-Bone pointed out, that the three stars that we're talking about are past their prime now. They may be effective in their own ways, but we can't expect them to be the superstars they were in 2011 and 2004 and 2006 and all of those years. It's 2022. It's great to have them back, to be that leader, to be that be that symbol, to bring them back for the Cardinals. It's a nice story. Love to see them back, but I don't expect them to be difference makers. That title belongs to other players on the team. So I don't necessarily think that they're just like World Series bound or anything. Although I wouldn't mind seeing them in the World Series, winning the World Series this year. It'd be great. But realistically, I don't see them doing that. It's just like expecting to bring back some old wrestler and thinking they're going to carry the whole freaking WrestleMania on their back just because of what they did 20 years ago. It's just not going to happen. I got realistic expectations. Good to see him back. Nice to see him on paper. Nice to see him come out and do their thing, but carrying a whole show, nah.
All right,
I'm
Brendan
here because I realized I could go see some Cardinals games this week myself down here in Florida. What am I thinking?
Jupiter.
Oh, just rub it in. Oh.
Jupiter, Florida.
Okay. All right.
Nothing like catching them at Busch Stadium, though.
That is true. That is very true. All right, fellas. Well, yeah, that's a weather alarm going off. We're perfectly fine, ladies and gentlemen.
Do we need to evacuate?
This show is live. We do not need to. Okay. No, we do not need to evacuate. We're fine. My stream is not going out. Can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, opening day is going to be April 7th this year, and our opening series. It just feels so fitting for our opening series to be against the Pittsburgh Pirates. I can't. Siddall, don't laugh. I can't
Somewhere
think of
Annie
a better.
is shaking her fist at you,
I
wanting to
can't
wring
think
your
of a
neck.
better way to start off the season than with consecutive wins over the Pittsburgh.
Somewhere Annie is screaming, "Keep the Pirates' name out your effing mouth."
Okay.
Keep the Pirates' name out your
Oh my
effing
goodness.
mouth.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we're gonna shift because in all honesty.
Shout out to Andy Greer.
Shout out to Annie. I guess I'll do it since Joe is a part of the show. Shout out the Houston Astros.
Yeah, the asterisks. The asterisks.
Hey,
I like
hey,
that.
you know, I've grown to love them. You know, we watch them like we watch the Cardinals. It's every day. You know, Cardinals game, Astros game. And I kind of,
Brendan,
mimic what
snap
Joe
out of
says,
it.
I'm sure, but
Brendan, snap out of it. Don't let her brainwash you.
you're a
You
Rams
are a
fan. Come
Cardinal
on.
fan. Don't let her
This is your
brainwash you.
conscience.
Don't do it. Don't let him do it.
No.
Don't let her do it. Be
Hey.
strong. Be strong.
This goes back to what we were talking about with colleges, every team cheats, whether they get caught or not. Like, I'm a believer. I'm not saying I condone it. I don't condone it, but I'm going to say every team does it. So,
Some
I-
do it more than others. Like
I
Patriots.
don't disagree.
Patriots. Anyway.
But I
Sorry.
mean,
That's a bad cough over there. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm actually curious to see what the letter about the Yankees says with Rob Manfred. So,
Oh, I truly believe that will be swept under the rug. Like
will
we
be.
had a conversation with Joe earlier. I feel like they'll just be like, Yankees, it's okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're gonna transition from the craziness of opening day to the craziness known as this NFL off season. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been keeping up with some of these moves, it has been a lot of madness going on, fellas. Hopefully you all have been keeping up with the moves. T-Bone, I will start with you. What NFL offseason move made you say, whoa? What caught your attention the most?
I mean, if you're gonna say the most obvious one is Tom Brady just coming back after you can probably think whatever reporter broke that story of him retiring before he had the chance to cash out on Instagram so he could get that story. So that surprised me. We'll see what happens. Like I said, based on the breaking news that we had earlier, for those of you just joining us, with Bruce Arians retiring, my prediction is the rumors of Tom Brady's trade are more likely than ever. So, that's the most surprising one for me. But there's been a ton more this season. So
there have been. Brandon, most surprising off-season move.
The one that got me was just Tyreek going to the Dolphins. Not necessarily him going to the Dolphins, but him leaving Kansas City. I know a lot of people felt like that was an opportunity, but I just didn't see it coming. It kind of shocked me. So Tyreek going there is probably the one that shook me the most. And I'm not saying that trade's going to be the biggest impact or the biggest difference maker out of all the trades. But as far as just initial shock to seeing it happen, when I saw on my phone that he was being traded, I didn't think it was real at first. I thought I was looking at the wrong account, but that I'm gonna have to go with that one.
All right, so Brandon, I want to stick with you. I just want to ask, since the cheetah is now in water, will the cheetah swim? Do you think he'll find success in Miami?
Can Tua throw it that far?
Mm.
I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. The team's got talent. I mean, they surrounded Tua with a lot of talent. He's got Waddle. He's got Tyreek. I mean, That's my question. It's going to fall on Tua now more than ever. I mean, if Tua can't do it with this team,
Brady.
Tom Brady can throw it unless the ball is a little flat, a little, deflated. Maybe.
No, that's when he can throw it the best.
Better.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
As long as he do that, yeah, cool.
If they get Brady, I mean, that's
his Randy Moss.
I just think it's gonna change. I just think it depends on Tua more than Tyreek. That's what it comes down to.
Oh man, that's a step above Randy Moss. It's the fastest man in the NFL right now. All right. Siddall, what offseason move caught you by surprise?
I'm like Brendan, man. It was the Tyreek Hill. It was just like one day you're thinking, everybody's cool in KC smooth sailing. They get ready to play Russell Wilson and getting set for that AFC West, and the next day it's like your star wide receiver is getting traded. Like what? Hey, whoa, what? Slow down. What happened? What'd you say? What'd you say now, Chuck? It just caught me by surprise with everything. Just when you thought you've seen it all, things like that happen, more than that is just the number of rumors, and not only the rumors, the false rumors that's just been happening, man, has just been like outrageous. It's just like watching one of like a reality TV show with all the rumors. I think this person said that person said this. I mean, the confetti didn't even fall all the way to the field level until they had rumors flying around. Aaron Donald gonna retire. Sean McVay ain't gonna come back. He's gonna be an announcer next year. That. I mean, dang. Can we celebrate? Can you celebrate the Super Bowl before the doggone rumors start?
No.
I will say the Aaron Donald retirement that came from Aaron Donald before the Super Bowl.
That did not come from Aaron Donald. That came from an announcer saying, "Oh well, you caught wind or something." That didn't come from Aaron Donald.
They said they spoke with Aaron. I remember because I remember I was watching the game. I was excited, and then I was like, "Excuse me, this is what you're gonna do to me?"
Close to Aaron Donald.
Even when they asked him after the game,
he ain't retiring. So.
Yeah, but even after the game, he seemed unsure. Like he didn't really know. Like if he wasn't planning on retiring, he would have just flat out said, "No, I'm not retiring." He said, "We'll see. We'll see. Not right now. Whatever." So it's possible he may have been thinking about it.
Yeah, and I think in hindsight, he's probably said that just to entice the organization to sweeten the deal on a new contract. But then you also had other rumors. One rumor was that, hey, Von Miller's a lock to come back to the Rams, hey, that's a lock. Come back, going to sign back to the Rams. Oh, we're going to Buffalo? Oh. Well, they'll never, they'll never trade Robert Woods. That's Bobby Trees. They'll never trade. Oh, what? He traded? Wait, what?
They knew they didn't have enough.
And then not to mention the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. And he was getting shopped around, and he was going team to team. But you know what? He ruled out the Cleveland Browns. He's not going to the Cleveland Browns, man. He's going to go to these other three teams. What? He signed with Cleveland? Historic deal?
Yeah, he signed with Cleveland.
280 million, all guaranteed. Every single dime guaranteed. Wow.
All guaranteed.
Who's the wide receiver from Green Bay that left where everybody was like
Devontae
Adams?
You signed back Aaron Rodgers. That was the whole big ordeal. You finally got your quarterback back, and Aaron Rodgers like, yes, I'm back. Okay, now I hope you're happy. Wait, what? You traded away my best receiver?
He took
I
all
mean,
the money.
they've done that to him
Oh
more.
no, he didn't know. He was a free agent. My bad.
I mean,
Was
but
it free agent?
Devontae. They traded Devontae.
Yeah, they traded Devontae.
They traded it. Yeah, they traded him. Yeah,
They couldn't pay him. They gave it all to
They
Aaron.
could. They paid AA run.
I mean, that's what they say. Like, there's a reason Tom Brady takes less money, so they
It's
could
just
pass
been
that
wild.
money around to make his team better. Not all quarterbacks think that, and that's why Brady wins.
that's why I said Aaron Rodgers is the most overvalued quarterback in the league.
telling you, man. Well, not anymore. Look who's highest paid now.
Yeah,
Sean Watson.
but
Yeah.
he's how many years younger is he than Aaron Rodgers right now? Well, not right now, just period, forever. But you know,
right.
but,
Right now in his career, you know.
but you know what I'm saying, like with Aaron Rodgers, he's trying to get as much money as he can. And you know, like everybody said, he doesn't win. I don't care what stats he puts up. He's the Russell Westbrook of the NFL. Yeah, I said it. Except he has one ring. One ring.
Oh, dang. Jeez.
His stats are great.
I want to know who Rodgers is thrown to this year. Like, I
Probably
really don't know.
Landry.
They're gonna have Jordan Love out there playing wide
Who
receiver.
knows? Now they're saying now is another rumor. You know, breaking news. Another rumor that Odell Beckham Jr. Thinking about going to Green Bay, fill that role,
I mean, he wouldn't be back.
and Kansas City.
He wouldn't be back for y'all till like November anyway. So y'all by then y'all be out the
Mhm.
playoffs. Yeah, not even eligible, eliminated.
I would be shocked if Julio
Then you
went
wake
there.
up from your nightmare, T-Bone. And
Right.
then you see that it's
Oh
the
no,
other
for
way
him that
around.
would be a dream. That would be a dream for him. The nightmare that he can't wake up from is the failures of the 49ers. But real quick, BT, I gotta hear from you, bro. What was the offseason move that made you say, hold up, wait a minute?
Man, to be honest, I haven't followed NFL offseason, NFL season in like 4 or 5 years. So I'm listening to you guys, and some of these names sound familiar, but I'm totally lost and I'm totally out of this conversation. So
Let me give you.
I don't even know who where to start. So
Let me give
somebody,
you one.
T-Bone, throw something out there.
You heard of a fella named Russell Wilson?
All right, Russell Wilson. Now I did see that story that he. Where is he at in Denver? Where is he at?
Mm-hmm.
See, I did
He's
catch
now
that.
playing
so in Denver.
with the Broncos.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I would say that's the biggest one for me.
That's the teamwork right there. Just threw it right to you. Just
See, and I caught it. Yep.
That's great alley-oop work. All right, fellas. If I had to say a move that caught me by surprise, we just brought it up. It was Russell Wilson going to the Broncos. And the surprise factor for me was, you know, there are a lot of teams that have promising talent and all they're missing is a great quarterback. First team that comes to mind for me is the Tennessee Titans. No disrespect to Ryan Tannehill, but I just feel that he's been given enough opportunities, and I would go out on a limb to say this: if an elite quarterback does sign with the Tennessee Titans within the next 3 years, I predict them losing the Super Bowl against the Rams. They'll get there because I feel that's all they're missing, but I have them losing to the Rams and not the 49ers, T-Bone.
You playing Madden
can hang
99?
that.
No, we're playing
It'll be a
real
repeat
NFL
of
football
1999.
2021. That's what we're playing.
Playing Madden 2000, huh? And some NFL 2K. Just a simple 2K, no numbers after it.
If we was playing 2K, then and you put it on easy mode, then maybe the 49ers do win. Put it on rookie.
Wow.
All right, so that was discussions about the NFL offseason. I just want to slide into it because
I'm getting my
it is
licks in
coming-
before the wrestling because y'all gonna kill me on the wrestling. I'm just getting my licks in right now.
All right. Well, the time for getting those in are over. We're going to slide right into the WWE. As you all know,
And here we go.
WrestleMania is this Saturday. It is the most stupendous WrestleMania of all times. So stupendous that it had to be 2 nights, just like the other 2 WrestleManias. But anyway, we've got a stacked card, fellas. We're gonna start with night 1. So, with night 1 of WrestleMania, excuse me. All right, there we go. Night 1 of WrestleMania will have the Raw Women's Championship. You will have Becky Lynch going up against Bianca Belair. This has been a match that has been built. Well, the build-up has been okay, in my opinions, but I want to hear from you guys. I will start with T-Bone. How did you feel about the build-up of this match, and who do you see walking out as champion?
I mean, I guess the long-term buildup goes back to SummerSlam when Becky Lynch came back and, they had Bianca losing, I don't know how many seconds it was, but it wasn't a minute. And, a lot of people were upset about that. But if the purpose of that was to get to this point, I guess okay. But after what they did this past Monday where they had Bianca cut Becky's hair, it seems like it may lean towards Bianca not actually winning the match at WrestleMania, which if that happens would be really weird. So, but I would go with Bianca because it makes sense. I hope they make this make sense.
Okay. All right. BT, how did you feel about the build-up, and who do you see walking out with the title?
It was kind of like a slow burn, I think. I think you had a couple Raws where the last couple Raws, Bianca wasn't on there. So, I mean, I've been excited for her to try to get some get back, but it's just one of those things where kind of what T-Bone is saying is like, you get the revenge back with the haircut on the going off or going home Raw. And it to me, it feels like it's setting something up for like a certain surprise or a certain swerve to where we may not get that championship on Bianca just yet, and we kind of just ride this out with Becky Lynch a little longer, and it may be a surprise where we see someone like Bayley come back, or just some big surprise that kind of set things up a little longer. So because the expected is that Bianca's gonna get the title back, but as we know, sometimes that's not always the case. Even if you can see it, it's always some tricky in there. So I'm gonna go with Lynch retaining the championship.
Okay. Brendan, I'm not sure. Do you follow with wrestling?
Nah, I don't. I guess I need to get back into it, but no, I mean, I know the name Becky Lynch. That's about all I can tell you out of that matchup.
Okay. Well, just between the two, just between Becky and Bianca, who do you see?
I'll go with Becky, just because that's the one
Okay.
I've known. I've heard the name, and from the sounds of it, I guess she's the current champion. I didn't catch that. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Then I'll probably go with her to retain it.
All right. And Siddall, who do you see coming out on top?
I haven't watched wrestling in about 4 years. I think the last wrestling event I saw was the WrestleMania when Kofi Kingston won. So that gives you an idea how long ago I've been out of the game. But just hearing T-Bone's thoughts on it and knowing WWE, it'll probably be a no contest and Becky Lynch retaining it.
Okay. All right. So if for those who do watch, if you all remember when they gave Bianca her push, it was an extreme push. As soon as she got in, she won the Royal Rumble, and then she also went on to win at WrestleMania. Do I see her going and doing it again? It will be nice to see for her to hold both championships. So I am actually going to go with Bianca Belair on this one. The next match is The Miz and Logan Paul versus Rey Mysterio. Yes, Logan Paul.
Logan
Versus
Paul.
Rey Mysterio and his son, Dominic. Siddall, since it caught you by surprise, who do you see winning this match?
Oh, that's a real reaction. I did not know they're gonna bring in Logan, but it makes sense, I guess. You know, it puts asses in seats. I think I'll go with the feel good story of Rey Mysterio and his son. They win.
All right. BT, what about you?
I think we get a Rey Mysterio and Dominic breakup around WrestleMania. So I'm gonna go with the Miz and Logan Paul.
Okay. It's a nice take. Brendan, between the two teams, who are you picking?
Can I go with neither? No, I mean, I had no idea Logan Paul was going to be wrestling at WrestleMania. First off, that's hilarious. Second off, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't the Miz used to have like a talk show during
Still does.
wrestling? Still does. Has Logan Paul been on it? Because that'd be fun to watch.
Multiple times.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go find those. But no, Rey Mysterio is probably one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. So I'll go with them.
Okay, all right. T-Bone, who do you see winning this match?
I'll go with the Mysterios hitting the double 619 on Logan Paul for the win. Just because they didn't do it on Monday, they teased it. So if that's what they were teasing. Then the payoff comes to WrestleMania. There's your moment.
So I see. I want to echo what BT said. I do see a breakup between the Mysterios, but I don't see it until after they win. I know it sounds crazy, but I feel like there's going to be some issues in the match, and they're going to win, but then there's going to be a turn. I feel like every WrestleMania, there has to be at least one heel turn.
I know when I was watching WrestleManias, it always happens the Raw after WrestleMania. That's when the returns happen, swerves happen, things happen. That Raw after WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. All right. The next match is going to be Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Siddall, you know him better as Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know much about his new gimmick, but I predict that he wins just because he's Baron Corbin. He'll find a way to win. And I see he has like a corner man. He has a he has a corner man. Yeah, he's gonna get involved and he's gonna win.
Okay, all right. T-Bone, who do you see winning?
Drew wins, gets the sword back, and Madcap and Corbin the next week on SmackDown have issues.
Okay, all right. Brendan, between the two, who do you see coming out on top?
I know both names, surprisingly. The one I know the most is Drew. So I'll go with Drew McIntyre. I feel like I have seen him wrestle a little bit. Don't know the storyline going into it, but I'll go with Drew.
There's a sword involved?
Yeah, sounds stupid, don't it?
Yes, there's a sword involved.
Is it stupid?
It's played out. I'll say that.
Okay.
Maybe it's good I've been away for 4 years.
Agree?
I think that anytime you bring in a prop that can't be used to actually do what it's intended for, you just might as well not bring it in. So, look, I also get it. I get that you can get the swords and you can probably make a toy and you can sell the stuff at the arenas to kids and stuff like that. So I get it, but Yeah, I mean, I've never been a big Drew guy, so like, even when he was champion, like it just wasn't really for me.
Okay. All right. BT, who are you picking?
Yeah, this match doesn't really do that much for me. I think it should probably be on SmackDown, but I mean, I'm so done with Drew. Um, to be honest, yeah, I'm kind of turned off by this, but I'm gonna pick Drew. Kind of echoing some of the things that you guys had already said. The merchandise, different things like that will probably be used doing this, but I just feel like Drew is just kind of, he's kind of lost out there right now. So, but I'm gonna go with Drew because man, Baron Corbin is pretty much in the same boat. So, yep.
Okay.
Somebody's
All right,
got to
yeah.
challenge for the title afterwards too.
Yeah, I will pick Drew McIntyre as well. The next match we have is for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. It is the Usos going up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs, aka WWE's Freddie Mercury.
Rick Boogs.
Don't know who came up with that in creative, but okay. BT, let's start with you. Who do you see walking away with the championship?
I think you got to keep it on the Usos because I mean Shinsuke and Boogs, man, that's really not even a team. So I'm gonna go with the Usos.
Okay. Brendan, who are you picking between the two?
I'll keep the Usos. I know them. Don't know the other two at all. And kind of like BT said, I think they don't seem like a team. By the picture, they don't seem like a team. Like someone I've seen or would see wrestle together. But I mean, the Usos have been around for long enough for me to know about them, so I'll go with them.
All right. Siddall, who's coming out on top?
Just because the simple fact you got a knockoff as one of the people that you're wrestling, I'm gonna go with the Usos.
Who's the knockoff?
A knockoff Rick Rude.
Oh no,
I've never heard of this guy.
He's not a knockoff Rick Rude. He is WWE's Freddie Mercury. He used to have a ponytail and things, but they had him cut his hair Freddie Mercury style, and he's got the mustache as well. Like if you see a picture, it's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy.
I mean, a lot of the stuff outside the top matches aren't stuff that I'm really particularly interested in. Again, I can see the appeal for like kids, and I always try to look at it and analyze it and say, look, if I were 6 years old, if I was 9 years old, would this be something I would probably watch? I'm still thinking about that. But you got Boogs, who's like this big, strong, he kind of reminds me of like what they would show up like the old, not that we would have seen it, but like when you look at those black and white photos of like a carnival and you see the strong man, that's what he reminds me of. He plays the guitar, he plays Shinsuke Nakamura's theme to the ring, so that's what he does. But yeah, the Usos. This isn't a question.
Okay. I am not sure who I see winning this. I feel like the Usos could lose the title, and that could have something to do mentally with Roman Reigns' match in night 2. So I'm not sure who I see coming out as a winner. The last match for night 1 is gonna be the SmackDown Women's Championship.
BT don't have any thoughts about that tag team match. BT.
Usos.
He gave his answer. BT gave his answer.
Oh, my bad.
See, you trying to catch me up, Siddall. I'm keeping track of everybody now. It be your own people. Dang, your mentors coming at me.
I didn't say anything. Nothing.
All right. So we're gonna go with the SmackDown Women's Championship. You have Charlotte Flair defending against Rowdy Ronda Rousey, making her return at the Royal Rumble after having her child. Who do we see coming out with the championship? T-Bone, I'll start with you.
Is this a question? Well, and this also plays into why I think there's a chance that Bianca doesn't win, especially since, like I said, Bianca just cut Becky's hair on Monday, so it makes me think that she's less likely to win. And if you have both of them on the same night, I think that they want the moment to be special if they're doing it on the same night. So I think that Ronda's going to wind up winning the title from Charlotte.
Okay. BT, who do you see winning?
Yeah, I don't think that you bring Ronda back for her to lose at WrestleMania. There's just so many eyes that are not from wrestling that's going to be watching wrestling on that night. So I mean, you got to put it on Ronda. Plus, I mean, in a real fight, Ronda will probably take care of business. So I'm gonna go with Ronda, even though this time around hasn't been the best for her as far as the stuff she's been going through. But I'm gonna go with Ronda on this one.
All right. Brendan, who are you picking between the two, Ronda or Charlotte?
I'm gonna go with Ronda, and simply for the reason of the fact that, I mean, she came back not WrestleMania, sorry, this is WrestleMania. She came back at the Rumble to win, to get this match. I don't see how they build that up with her comeback, with her winning to have her lose. I mean, it's the WWE, so I guess they could, but I think that build up is to have her win. So I'm gonna go with Ronda.
All right, and it looks like the wifey agrees with you. Shout out to you,
fan.
Joe. Thanks for tuning in. Siddall, who you got coming out on top?
Just leaning on. If I was just looking at it face value, I look at it and look at the history of Charlotte Flair. I'm like, well, Charlotte Flair wins everything. She's gonna win. But after what all of you all said, all the circumstances and putting that into consideration, now I would say Ronda Rousey wins.
And having her and Becky Lynch winning on the same night on WrestleMania sets up for next year.
Okay. I see Ronda Rousey winning it as well, only for her to probably lose it within the next two pay-per-views again to Charlotte. I feel like WWE is preparing Charlotte to break her father's record. That's just me. They got John Cena all the way there.
He ain't never been winning.
That was as it's the times of, you know what? Lord have mercy. You know exactly what I mean.
Who did he ever beat? Sherry Martel? I don't think so.
Oh man. But yeah, and then the final event for WrestleMania, it's supposed to be billed as closing the show.
I think you missed.
It's gonna be.
You missed the women's tag team match?
Oh no, that's night 2.
Oh, I see it on night 1. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's officially billed as night 2. Yeah. And so the last segment for WrestleMania Saturday, the official name, is supposed to be the KO show with special guest Stone Cold Steve Austin. My question to you isn't a fact of when, it's a fact of how many stunners do you think are going to be given out in this segment? T-Bone, I'll start with you.
How many stunners?
Mm-hmm. From Steve Austin, of course, not Kevin Owens.
I mean, I think he just hits the one. This isn't AEW. He don't need to hit finishes 15 times in a row.
I mean, well, he likes to, hit the one, splash beer on him, give him a beer, hit another one.
I
think, one and then a 2.
I think that, I think he just hits one good stunner, and that's what's going to make the crowd happy. No need to try to do it a second time because you're not going to get as loud a reaction the second time as the first time you do it.
All right. BT, are you sticking with the one and done?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the one, but I'm gonna be interested to see if he's actually gonna wrestle. I mean, is he wrestling? Is it like what is? Have they said what is actually gonna happen?
No, so it's just like
the Miz show, like the KO show, just
yeah.
I don't think it's going to be exactly what you think it is.
Yeah.
There's too much talk about it because it wouldn't make sense for them to promote that in that way because it's not like he hasn't come out to WrestleMania and beat people up before fairly recently. So it's not like he's been on people's talk shows at WrestleMania before. The way they're hyping this up makes me, and especially since it's closing the night, I don't think they're doing an interview segment to close the night. I think that they're going to wind up doing something. It may start off like that, but I get the feeling there's going to be a referee coming down to the ring, and I wouldn't even be surprised if Austin maybe comes out in something and all, you don't realize it, but he has his stuff on underneath, almost like how The Rock did at WrestleMania 32.
So we get full gimmick, knee braces.
I mean, look,
everything.
he's in Dallas, Texas, right? Which is the whole point of this. The whole thing, if you've noticed, the whole buildup hasn't been specifically directed at everybody watching. Even though, yeah, if people are watching, with the exception of Siddall, if people hear Steve Austin is coming back and might wrestle, then people are going to want to watch. So this has really been built up to sell tickets to Dallas. Get those Saturday night tickets going. You got Steve Austin potentially wrestling the match on Saturday night, and then you have the world title match on Sunday night. That sells the tickets right there.
Okay.
So
Brendan, how many stunners? Yes.
I'm confused. So I thought that this was going to be a full-blown match. So it's billed as an interview or a match. What is it going to be? Or is it just going to be a face-off? Is it what's it going to be?
Well, it's billed as the KO show. They haven't officially said that there's going to be a match. But with the way that they're promoting it, knowing about the stuff about how he's been getting himself in shape, that's going to be more than a match. Even if it's a brawl and he counts the pinfall himself, it's going to be more than just a interview segment like you would see on Raw. It's going to be more than that Piper's Pit that he did that one year, or when he came out and beat up the New Day and the League of Nations that one year. Like, it has to be more than that.
Yeah, because I actually saw interview he did with Rich Eisens on Rich Eisens' podcast, and the way when he was talking about coming back and the way he talked about it, he got emotional, like legit got emotional. So this has to be more than just a interview kind of deal. And you didn't ask me about my thoughts on it, but we'll come back, man.
We weren't done. I had to get to Brendan.
I know you got to get to Brendan.
You feel free to pass me up because I don't have much input as far as stunners. I'm gonna go with one just because it ain't like it used to be back in the day where everyone got one. Like it's Oprah handing out free crap. It's just, I feel like it's just one and done nowadays. That's how every time you see it, that's part of why I can't get interested anymore. Is it's not like it used to be. So I'll go with the one.
Okay, all right. And moving on to night 2. No, I'm joking. Siddall, how do you feel? How many stunners do you think will be administered?
If it is a stunner, it's going to be a stunner administered. It's going to be one. And it's going to be one. I just look back at the last time he put a stunner on someone in WrestleMania, he tore something in his leg. So that's one. That's number one. Number two, this is definitely going to be more than just an interview, but it's at the same time, it's not going to be a full on 30-minute match. It's probably going to be about 5-10 minutes of brawling, and it's in Dallas, Texas. So Steve Austin's going to come on top, going to hit a stunner, get the beers out. Most of that time is going to be, the real question is how many beers he's going to drink. How many beers is going to be tossed to him, because after he stuns them that one time, then that's when you're going to count, okay, how many beers is going to get tossed to him. That's how that's going to go. Nice little show for the fans and everything. Everybody go home happy.
I'm saying one in a possible for stunners. One in a possible. All right. And then we're going to move on to WrestleMania Sunday. This is night 2. The first match I want to talk about is going to be the Raw Tag Team Championship. You've got RK Bro, the team of Randy Orton and Riddle, versus the Street Profits versus the Alpha Academy. Siddall, looking at this lovely picture here, who do you see coming out on top in this match?
I know half the people here. I'll go with the people. I'll go with the Street Profits because that's the only 2 people I know. And Randy Orton, I know him, of course. I don't know his partner. And the other 2, was it the Academy or something? I don't know. I don't know who they are, but
it's American Alpha 3.0.
Chad Gable?
I don't even know who American Alpha is. But I'll go with the Street Profits, man, because they, Black Pride, I guess. I don't know.
All right. T-Bone, who you picking?
I'm going to pick the Street Profits because this probably should have been the Street Profits against Alpha Academy to begin with. But I think that they wanted to keep RK Bro together because of the merchandise possibilities of WrestleMania and then break them up.
Okay. BT, who you picking?
So this one kind of interesting because I mean if you follow it, you kind of already know and sense that the breakup is coming between Riddle and Orton at some point. But I'm also thinking that at some point Montez Ford is going to kind of break up and go off and be a singles competitor. So with this one, I'm gonna go with RK Bro because I mean if you watch Raw, man, Randy Orton's probably the best thing on that show right now. So you keep them going for another couple pay-per-views, but I like them holding the belts after WrestleMania.
All right. Brendan, who you picking?
I'm gonna go with RK Bro, not having any knowledge to anything that's going on, character-wise or story-wise with that. But I'll go just for entertainment purposes, because it's what I would tune in for is to watch someone like Randy Orton. I'll go with them.
All right. I want to see the Street Profits win, but at the same time, I also want to see Montez Ford begin his solo's career. So I am picking RK Bro to come out victorious. Keeping in tag team championship matches, we've got the women's tag team championship match. It is a fatal 4-way between the champions of Queen Zelina and Carmella, going up against Naomi and Sasha Banks, going up against Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, who will also be facing Natalya and Shayna Baszler. T-Bone, who do you see coming out on top in this match?
Sasha and Naomi.
All right. Siddall.
Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know who's on third.
Today's pitching and tomorrow's catcher.
You're right. I thought it was Wednesday. I thought Wednesday was pitching. Anyway, I'll go with the sisters. I guess Black Pride again. I don't know, man.
Oh, he said it twice. Lord Jesus. All right. All right, BT. Who do you have coming out on top, bro?
I think Liv and Rhea, because I mean they're the only ones that really look like a team right now. I just don't see anybody else really. I mean, it's just like they just throwing all of these girls in together just to say, look, y'all got something to do. Just join this one. But I think Rhea and Liv is probably the best thing that they have right now that looks like a team. So, and I think they actually might have. Did they come up with a name last week? Did they give them a team name yet?
I'm not sure. I didn't hear any team.
I didn't watch that.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, but they look like a team.
I'm just trying to figure out just the individual names,
All right. Brendan, who are you picking to come out on top?
I'll follow our wrestling guy T-Bone and go with Sasha and Naomi strictly because I know nothing about it. So
All right. I want to see Sasha and Naomi win as well. Now, on to a match that has just been hilarious to watch the buildup of. We've got Sami Zayn going up against Johnny Knoxville.
Johnny Knoxville.
All right,
You gotta
Star,
be
we're gonna start with
kidding me,
you.
my dude. Come on, man. What are you doing? All right.
And the movie to promote.
They do have a movie to promote. It's still in theaters.
Oh my God. Okay. Oh my.
What happened after Chris Rock was in the Oscars? Look at how his ticket sales are doing. So that's why Johnny
Went up.
Man, this is giving me what's his name vibes. In WCW they wanted to promote that Ready to Rumble movie too. Johnny Knoxville's gonna win. How about it? How about it? Johnny Knoxville. Why not?
You're probably right.
All right, Brendan, what about you?
I mean, this is just like a joke, right? Like, is this gonna be an actual match or is it gonna be a match that lasts 0.37 seconds?
I think it's a no disqualification match. Anything goes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a no DQ false count anywhere, I believe.
I'm gonna say somehow Johnny Knoxville wins with the help of somebody. I don't know, just from a pure entertainment standpoint. And like everyone said, he's trying to promote that movie. I feel like they'll keep him in a little bit longer.
He was in the Royal Rumble, as to clarify. He was in the Royal Rumble too.
I caught the Rumble a little bit. But me and Joe watched it a little bit, not too much, bits and pieces. But I remember seeing him, and it looked goofy, anyways. But I didn't realize he was going to be at WrestleMania. I didn't realize he's going to have a singles match. So let's go with Knoxville.
All right. T-Bone, who you picking between the two?
Well, they took the Intercontinental title off of Sammy to make sure that they didn't have to worry about that. So I think that the path has been cleared for Knoxville to win, because the reaction of Sami Zayn losing would be the moment that would be remembered probably from everything.
Thank God they took the belt off of him. I didn't know he had the Intercontinental belt. We don't want a repeat of what, 98, 99?
Oh, yeah. BT, who you picking?
I'm gonna echo the same thing that T-Bone said, that it's gonna be a match where you see this guy probably get thrown down steps, smacked over the head with some chairs, doing all type of crazy stuff. But in the end, the pop from the crowd is gonna be when Johnny Knoxville actually wins the match. So I'm gonna say Johnny Knoxville.
Okay. And BT, I know you got to get out of here. We want to thank you for being here for the debut, the inaugural episode of the Man Cave. We will see you next month. Have a good night, bro.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Yep.
All right.
See it.
All right. I see Johnny Knoxville winning it as well. Up next, another match that definitely didn't see coming. We've got Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory. Yes, that's Pat McAfee, the commentator, versus the protege to Mr. McMahon, Austin Theory. T-Bone, who do you see winning this match?
I'm going to go with Pat McAfee. I mean, when they had him in some matches in NXT against Adam Cole, like he looked pretty good in what he did. I mean, I think with Theory, they've been having Theory pick up some wins. So, I think that Pat McAfee winds up winning.
All right. Brendan, what about you?
another shock to me that I didn't know Pat McAfee was in any part of wrestling at all before this now. So just for the fun of it, let's go with him.
All right, Siddall.
Notice I didn't have a laugh reaction because I actually knew Pat McAfee was involved in wrestling, just be watching his podcast and stuff. So I kind of seen like the little promos. He kind of promoted it on his show and everything. I see Pat McAfee winning. Just it's another good story.
Well, I mean, like I said,
see.
he had matches in NXT. He was on a War Games match in NXT a couple of years ago. So he
I think he's a legit figure to me, in wrestling because he's embraced it and he's embraced the art.
He's a SmackDown commentator too.
Huh?
He's a SmackDown commentator.
Right. I mean, he's a part of the culture, so that's why I really didn't have they didn't surprise me that he was in the match. So,
all right. Yeah, I want to see Pat McAfee win it as well. All right. Coming up next, it's a match that we don't have a visual for. They just threw this match in as of Monday. It's going to be Bobby Lashley versus the undefeated Omos. Siddall, Omos is a very muscular, large, statuesque guy who used to be the bodyguard for AJ Styles.
Well, I was his tag team partner, but he was his bodyguard too.
But before that, like it started off as a guy in a
I
nice
may have
coat.
seen this guy. Is he like big tall black dude?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen him because I remember when they signed him to development contract and he was like one of the people. Bobby Lashley still though.
All right. T-Bone, what about you?
Now, I remember when Lashley got hurt at the Elimination Chamber, I said that Lashley was going to wind up coming back and being in the main event, even though they said he was going to be out for months and months. Not the WWE, but all the journalists out there said, oh, he's having shoulder surgery and he's going to be out for months. And I said Bobby Lashley was going to be back at WrestleMania. Well, I got half of it right. He's not in the title match, but that makes him a contender for afterwards because he never really lost his title. But yeah, based on everything they did on Monday, I predict Bobby Lashley is going to body slam Omos in the what's the name of the stadium? The Dallas Stadium, that whatever it is.
AT&T.
AT&T, my carrier.
Oh yeah, AT&T Stadium.
I'm sorry, that's your
Brendan. Who do you see coming out?
Well, I know Bobby Lashley. I don't know the other one. And from what I've seen out of Bobby Lashley recently, seems like he's been a big part of them. I mean, a headliner. So I'll go with him.
All right. I've got Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley winning it as well. Next match. Some call it a dream match. Some say this match is way overdue. We've got Edge going up against AJ Styles. Siddall, who do you see coming out on top in this dream match? Quote unquote.
Shoot, this might be the match that steals the show at WrestleMania. Just looking at, just knowing the two, it might steal the show. Now you stumped me, man. I don't know. Probably I see AJ Styles doing it. AJ Styles winning.
All right. T-Bone, what about you?
I mean, after what Edge did to AJ, it only makes sense for AJ to win the match. So AJ.
All right. Brendan, your pick.
The 7-year-old me wants to say Edge, so I'll go with him.
Okay. I want to say Edge as well. And now, the match that we are seeing at WrestleMania for the umpteenth time. This time,
Listen, something.
what am I missing?
Well, who's Seth Rollins facing?
That's the thing. It hasn't. Okay, so we know the speculation.
No,
but
we
it's
know
a
that Seth
mystery.
Rollins has a match.
Yes, against an opponent of Mr. McMahon's choosing.
You know who it is. It's no question of who it is. You know who it is.
I have no idea who it is.
Who is it? I want to know.
All right. Well, T-Bone and the rest of the wrestling world believe this, so I guess I'll double back to night one before we discuss the final match. It is Seth Rollins versus the anticipated returning Cody Rhodes.
Wait, Cody Rhodes?
Was he let go of AEW?
I thought he was.
No, he wasn't.
He was one of the founders of AEW.
He was one of the founders, and then they left on a mutual.
Why would it be Cody Rhodes though? That don't make no sense. He's with AEW.
Him and no, they've parted ways mutually.
I thought that was like a rumor.
No, that was official.
I thought it was official, but I thought it was officially something under the table to create a buzz around it. But apparently I was wrong in my initial thoughts, and it's real. So yeah, I was told, I think even Smoooth told me a few weeks ago that I was sadly mistaken. But it's wrestling.
Y'all gotta catch me up after we talk about WrestleMania. Y'all gotta catch me up on this story, because that's just like one of those NFL offseason curveballs. Like what happened?
It is a curveball.
I thought he was AEW for life, man.
I mean, there's a lot about it that, I mean, if it's 100% true, I mean, it could be Shane McMahon for all we know, but I don't.
That was my guess with Shane.
I actually think what'll wind up happening is Vince will probably come out. He'll probably announce somebody or announce that he's about to announce the person. Shane's music comes out and he gets the WrestleMania reaction. He starts walking and McMahon tells him, no, not you. I got someone else. And then they have Cody make his grand entrance for the show.
Okay. So between the two, who do you have winning T-Bone?
I mean, it's going to be Cody Rhodes winning. Because
you're going to smack that many consecutive pay-per-view losses on Seth Rollins?
Well, here's the thing. If you bring in Cody Rhodes and you're trying to put out the fire of AEW, you don't have Cody Rhodes come in and lose. This isn't WCW. It's not dead. You have Cody come in there and win so that other people who are going to be free agents at some point want to come over too. So you don't kill him at WrestleMania. Kill him later.
All right. Siddall, who do you see winning?
Unbelievable. Yeah, you got to pick Cody Rhodes at that point. I mean, you got to. Why would you bring him in to lose at WrestleMania? That's crazy.
All right. Brendan?
Yeah, I'll follow suit. You can't if it is Cody Rhodes, you can't bring him in to have him lose. So, also, is that night one or two?
That's night one. The reason I didn't bring it up is because it hasn't been. It's not official, but everyone's got their eggs in that basket, and I just know that Vince McMahon likes to mess with people. So I don't have a winner. The crowd will be the winner. The fans in attendance will be the winner. Now we're going to shift back to night two for the last match of the evening, the match that we have seen 4 or 5 times, but this time it's for all the marbles. It's for the whole kit and caboodle, the whole enchilada. We've got title versus title, the title unification match to be the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. It will be the current Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, going against the current WWE Champion, Brock Lesnar. Siddall, I want to start with you. Who do you see coming out on top in this match? Now, keep in mind that since you've last watched wrestling, Roman Reigns has broken Brock Lesnar's streak for the longest championship reign in the past 35 years. He has also taken his counsel, Paul Heyman. Yes, Paul Heyman is now with Roman Reigns.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Then Roman Reigns made Brock Lesnar bleed, in which Brock Lesnar said it is personal. And then Roman Reigns also said, well, it's personal from 3 or 4 years ago.
Everything has turned upside down. I mean, wow. Last time I seen Roman Reigns, he sucked on the mic. They kept on pushing him down everybody's throat. And they also did the same with Brock Lesnar. Same thing.
I don't think they really shoved Brock down people's throats.
He wasn't there enough to do that.
Did. They kept on bringing him back, and every time they bring him back, put the belt on. I was like, dang, he kept on.
Well, wait a minute.
And then he come back for like 2 months, put the belt on.
Well, wait a minute. We talking so with Ronda Rousey. How many people in the company, especially during those times when we're talking about, would people legitimately believe was going to beat Brock Lesnar if they were actually having any type of confrontation with him?
Goldberg. That was
and
it.
He beat him. And Goldberg beat him. And then he beat Goldberg. But seriously, who else looked not as good in the ring? Because people talk about that, but how many people physically looked at that time like that faced Brock Lesnar that they could actually beat Brock Lesnar?
He went up against Big Show, right?
Big Show was 734 years old by the time he faced Brock Lesnar at that Royal Rumble, where he smashed him and wore him out with a bunch of chairs.
But he's an old wrestler, man. He's supposed to put over the old wrestlers, right? Never mind.
You know what?
All right. I predict.
Says, how can I miss you if you never go away? And the Big Show never went away. He was there the whole time. Man.
Yeah, you never miss your water until the well runs dry. But anyway,
there it is. I've been waiting all show for one. Waiting all show. I was leaving here with something.
How about it? Know what? Knowing the WWE, Roman Reigns gonna win.
Why you say no in the WWE?
Because the WWE pushes.
Just to clarify,
they're gonna want to push
Siddall.
They're gonna want to push. This is the universe.
Siddall, just to clarify, Roman Reigns is where all the people who saw him as a babyface wanted him to be right now. Like, he is the guy that people wanted him to be. He's quite popular as a heel right now, which is why I always said it doesn't matter if you turn him heel, because the same people who they're not going to give him the reaction that's desired at that point. But yes, people actually like this version of Roman Reigns that you get with him and the Usos and Paul Heyman, and he is a straight up dominating heel. Like, he's exactly what
Usos are heels,
huh?
Yeah,
Usos are heels.
Yes,
they're all a faction, the bloodline. They're playing on the fact. They're finally playing on the fact that they're related.
They did that before when they were baby faces, but they didn't. Nobody liked those versions.
Not as heavy as this.
Brock Lesnar wins.
Like for a few matches.
I guess. Okay, Brock Lesnar wins. Okay.
All right. Brendan, who do you see coming out on top?
I'm torn. I don't know. that conversation just threw me through a loop. I personally am not. I've never been a Brock Lesnar fan. I just feel like, and you guys kind of touched on it, I feel like every time I see him, they give him the belt.
Yeah, I've never been a fan either.
I mean, that's not my wrestling knowledge. It's not there. It's just going back from what I remember. I just feel like every time Brock Lesnar was in a ring, he had the belt or he was fighting for the belt. So, I mean, I feel
that's
like
what I remember.
That's how I feel, and I could be wrong. Again, I'm not saying I'm right. That's how it feels to me. So,
90% of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like growing up as a kid. It's like, who's fighting the main event? Brock Lesnar. Okay, he's winning. Or if he loses, he's getting a chance next pay-per-view. So I'll go with Lesnar.
T-Bone.
It's kind of gotta be Brock, because if it's not, it would be, as weird as this may seem, it would be really disappointing if Brock Lesnar didn't win. Because he is Stanton, tell me, I think he's doing a pretty good job as a babyface. Compared to what you've seen him as in the past, like Farmer Brock is or Cowboy Brock, whatever you want to call it. He's pretty entertaining. Like he seems, Brock Lesnar seems like what you think Brock Lesnar would actually be like.
Brock Lesnar entertaining.
That's how I took it as. I'll have to watch.
He's been very entertaining.
Just think about this.
Since he came back.
He's a baby face. He doesn't have Paul Heyman talking for him. He does all the talking himself. I'd say that he seems authentic as a character, which is, they pulled away from the menacing, just stand there, doesn't really say anything guy, to the happy-go-lucky Brock Lesnar, who just comes out there and is happy to do stuff. But he's also very terrifying if you think about it, because this guy who you've always seen just like, menacing, standing there, maybe he chuckles at whatever Paul Heyman's saying, but now he's smiling, but it's like that type of smile where it's like, you don't want that guy to smile, because he's going to go crazy. It's all just he's going to be insane. Like I think that he's done a pretty good job with the stuff that he does. And to be fair to Brock also, even though he doesn't wrestle on Raw, which he doesn't need to, Brock Lesnar has been on almost, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been on more SmackDowns and Raws this year than he's been probably in the past
10.
Yeah.
Past 10 years.
He actually showed up.
He has been showing up and cutting promos.
Wow.
And damaging cars.
I missed a lot, man.
And beating up security. Like he's been showing up.
I missed a lot.
Both shows.
Now he hasn't been on every single show, but he shouldn't be on every single show. But he's been on more since, because when did he come back? He came back around
SummerSlam.
Yeah. So since
him and Becky Lynch both came back at SummerSlam.
Yeah. So when he came back, like, he's been there pretty consistently since then.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll say this. I'm gonna have to renew my Peacock membership and just kind of catch a peek at this WrestleMania. I don't know if it's gonna change my mind watching it again. See if I can catch up. I don't know. But I'm kind of interested to see some things. See what they do.
Now earlier, I asked for this to be clipped for future usage, because you brought up how Brock Lesnar, you said he's old, right? He's old.
You think Brock Lesnar was old?
You said Brock Lesnar was old a few minutes ago.
No, I didn't say Brock Lesnar.
You said that they always put the title on him.
Right, that's what I said. I said that. Yes.
Bring him back.
I always bring him back. Right, I said that. Yeah,
I just like to point out that they bring him back and they're bringing Pujols back, and they're pretty much around the same age. So just wanted to put that.
Whoa!
I never said he was.
You can't compare the two. You can't compare the physical toll of sports entertainment.
How often does Brock Lesnar wrestle?
With baseball. With baseball. Come on, man. What are you doing?
How often do you see a baseball player get body slammed, suplex, jump off the top of the dugout?
Let me ask you a question. How often do you see Brock Lesnar get body slammed, suplex, or thrown out the ring?
When he was wrestling Bobby Lashley, he got thrown out at the Royal Rumble.
Suplex and Lashley. Lashley put him in a full Nelson. But
there was a suplex return. Remember, Bobby Lashley got up and he was like, okay. Or Brock Lesnar got up and he was like, okay. But
again, just like baseball players' bodies are conditioned to do what they do, wrestlers' bodies are conditioned to do what they do. Trust me, I know. I just went into the school the other day, and our trainer wore me out as I was just trying to do a simple core workout. and I felt like afterwards I couldn't feel my stomach. Thank you, Dan Carr, creator of the American.
Shout out to you, Dan Carr. Hopefully you're watching the show. T-Bone, who was your pick?
Brock Lesnar, because it gives you something to go with. I mean, it gives Reigns something to have a complaint about. What's the fallout? He hasn't lost in over like 2. He's been the champion for what, 600 and how many days now? Like since SummerSlam 2020.
My goodness.
Dang.
Yeah, he hasn't lost since he came back in SummerSlam. That is true.
How is that a good storyline? That blows my mind.
How is that good for wrestling, man?
Wait a minute. Having a long-term champion where the championship isn't just changing hands?
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not against it. I'm don't condone it changing every month or anything, but that long? I mean, that's a long time.
I just like to point out that
CM Punk.
I just like to point out that when I was a kid and I started watching wrestling in 1988, Hulk Hogan had been the champion for 4 years at that point. Ric Flair, around that same time, held the title for two years, lose it for a week, and then hold it for another year and a half, and then lose it for a week. And then, they
did John Cena like that too.
It's not like having a champion for a long term. Guess what? It means something when he loses.
No, I get it. I just feel like that's a long time. But again, I don't pay attention. I don't know the storyline. Maybe it's been good. Like maybe they've kept it where it's been entertaining and fun. I just feel like, me personally, like I would have to compare that to watching sports, and that's like watching the Dodgers be the champions back-to-back years.
Well, but to be fair though, they have as weird as it sometimes sounds, they have 2 world titles. So it's almost like boxing, where you have one champion who does his thing, but you have another title. The other titles change hands a few times over the couple years, and the pay-per-views have both on them too. So it's not like people are deprived of seeing a title change. But for the story that they're telling with him, I think it's a pretty good story. They've built him. They have rehabilitated a guy who nobody wanted to see 3 years ago.
And I'll have to watch.
And I haven't been watching for 3 years, so that makes sense that I'm not really seeing y'all's vision here. I'm not seeing it at all. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have. It's like I've been in I've been frozen for like 3 years, and then I finally like get thawed out, and then you telling me about different things happening. I'm like, I can't comprehend what you all are talking about right now with this wrestling, man. I really don't.
All right. So T-Bone, you said Brock Lesnar. Okay. I feel that they are not going to do the same thing again and again and again. At WrestleMania, Roman Reigns has never beaten Brock Lesnar. He's beaten him at other pay-per-views, but not at WrestleMania. So I feel like at this WrestleMania, they're gonna, I don't want to say right that wrong, but they're gonna correct that action. So WrestleMania weekend starts this Saturday, December 2nd at 7 p.m.
Did you say December?
I did say December. Dear Lord. April 2nd at 7 p.m. That is when the show will start. Speaking of shows, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a great show. I want to thank you all for tuning in, fellas. I want to thank you all for being a part of the debut episode. Shout out to Brendan. Shout out to Siddall. Shout out to T-Bone Funk. Shout out to BT. Shout out to Richard Cash in his absence. We will hopefully see you next month. But we know that you all will see us next month. But next week, make sure that you tune in for Ladies Night. You can catch them on YouTube. You can catch them on Roku. And also starting next week, you can catch us on Hot 365 Radio. So make sure you tune in next week and show the ladies some love. On behalf of all the fellas, I am Stanton. This has been The Man Cave, brought to you by the Platform Sports Talk Show. We'll see you next week or next month. Peace.